Hello everyone and welcome back to the cast of the WoT7 tournament. Today we have day 2, which means we are left with only 4 out of 6 teams that made it through the group stage and also the qualifiers. And yeah, it's going to be a fun day, obviously. Those are going to be the best 4 teams available at hand, and maybe Svitman, you can take us through what happened yesterday, because I believe there were some upsets.
Yeah, in the first match, we saw LTP against Raid. The seeds 5 and 6 battled each out, and LTP came up stronger with some interesting tactics, and it surprised everyone because Raid is one of the more established teams. In the match 2, we saw one of the big upsets, and that was Tropical Cyclone beating Fame rather dominantly. And then in the match 3, we saw German Potatoes being beaten by Invil, with the 4th match, German Potatoes being beaten by LTP, and that means German Potatoes as Raid are leaving this tournament.
So both German teams out already after day 1. We are now left with 2 international ones, the Tropical Clown School Fame, and then we have the Frenchies LTP and Invil, the Polish Bulwark. Other than that, we do have drops available today. They should be coming up on stream shortly. And yeah, the drops campaigns this time are split. So basically, they should be coming up, not going down. There we go. If you haven't gotten them yesterday, be sure to claim them. You have to claim them manually. The 3 large consumables, the spider web decal, and also today we have the day of premium available after 240 minutes. Should our stream not last this long, we will host someone that has those drops available as well. The watch times are cumulative, so don't worry, nothing gets lost there. Other than that, I think, yeah, we shouldn't take away much more time from the lovely casting duo that we have available. Svit and me are both looking forward to see Ducky and Mojo take us through the awesome games.
Thank you very much, Gihan, for that lovely introduction. Looking as beautiful as always, just a snack. Mojo, yesterday was an interesting day, as they already mentioned. A lot of upsets coming in, especially, let's say, Fame losing against Tropical.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know, after the first game, Fame looked kind of confident, something that we would expect, and then next 3 games in a row, like, are these the same guys? Like, what's going on here? But whatever, man. Like, how you play, that's how you go. So Fame went down with 1-2-3 score, and they're now in a lower loser bracket where they're gonna have to claw their way out against LTP, who actually survived 2 rounds there already because they were 5th and 6th in the group stage. They were already there where they met Raid, and then they met other guys right after, the German Potatoes, who really had a bad day yesterday. Anyways, Fame setup is right in front of you guys here. Most of the names you know, pretty much very similar lineup to the last tournament that they won, WoT7. Insane, notorious leader who played a Gold League also, together with like from different teams. From most of these guys did it. I think only Fairly didn't and Misha didn't, right?
And of course Luna. And of course Luna, yeah.
But I'm not sure we will see Luna play today because he's mainly RT player. And there we go, LTP now, the French team, the second team from NUT that ended up first on this tournament from their clan.
I stick by it. Not having reaction on the team was a big bonus for these guys. But outside of that, they managed to do some interesting stuff yesterday. The SCRV of Mines comes to memory, to put it like that. But the maps are also very, very important. Now, today, no Ghost Town, again banned. Cliff banned out by LTP. Then Mines picked by Fame. And then Murovanka, actually, a second map, Mojo.
I'm gonna say like Ghost Town and Prokhorovka are completely like, I don't know, Ghost Town is the Fame ban, like permanently. And the Cliff is the perma ban from LTP, so that stays. I guess the step ban came from LTP because, I don't know, they showed their 1-2-1-2 tactics, you know, when they were just pushing everywhere and they maybe ran out of ideas, so they don't want to play it again. And I guess Fame banned that Prokhorovka after that debacle they had yesterday where they lost both rounds. On it. So against Tropical, what are they now? Clown School. Yeah, they're not Cyclone like on the last tournament. I have to get used to that one.
Yeah,
anyways,
they downgraded
the lineups
their
are here, and I'm totally
Well, there's going to be a restart, Mojo, but we could already see a little glimpse of the lineup there. Not really a surprise, I would guess, from the defending side. I think we saw 4 Eskongs, double I7, and a light. If I wasn't wrong, they played that before.
Like that. Yeah,
last
that's
time
the
around,
defensive one.
last time around, the Mojo, remember, they didn't cover 1-2 line, and Tropical simply drove down it with triple 113 and was very happy.
That lack of spot on 1-2 by Shoka, and who was playing the light, I
Rishek.
can't remember. Rishek, yeah, that was like a bit comical if it didn't end up so disastrous for them. They literally saw the enemy when they were starting to get shot. So that didn't come handy. I guess like Insane and the guys just judged. It's not the thing about tactics, it's just like how we played it. So, you know, let's just go again. From the side of, I don't know, LTP, we will see how they plan to play this. I don't think the same gimmicks can go twice. They are very, very well of that. So they will have to come up with something different for Mines this time. I'm really pumped up to see what's going to happen on this tournament now. I don't know, is it because I was listening to some Black Sabbath earlier or because of the games? We're going to see. But I'm hoping to see some new inventive stuff. Like I've already seen that Fosh/K91 stuff on Mines and then STRV later. And it was, yeah. Like it was actually very unexpected, something fresh, which I would think that never even could come close to working. So
now back into the lineups. Right. Fame indeed with the 4 Eskongs, the double I7 and the T100, while LTP has Kran, double CS, and TVP and triple 113 Mojo. No STRV this time.
No STRV. This is a way more straightforward setup, and they're using Kranwag instead of Superkong. That's quite interesting. That's a more mobile version, let's say it like that, of a tank that can play some kind of cooldown, but it's still an auto reloader. It has to have something to do with their plan, you know, because he can also run away faster if needed. Let's see how they're gonna move. Like Fame is gonna do predictable stuff, as we can see already. I7 going for that G4 position. It's crucial for many things, like among others, you can spot the climb and you can spot the left side on 1-2 line when needed, especially when it's failed by other guys. But Fame is not sending the other I7 yet across. It's only one T100. The other I7 is still stuck with other tanks and waiting. It looks like Fame maybe anticipated that LTP by their lineup might push one line, and they were preparing to snipe it heavily.
Well, now the I7 is starting to cross, though, over on the K line. We'll have to see if he takes some damage for this, or is he able to do this without taking too much. So far, Shoka is so good. Doesn't really take anything. One more shot, so 2 shots taken for this crossing.
But actually, the guy taking damage was Kranwagen while he was retracting.
Yeah, actually, they traded better for that.
That didn't end well as planned, I would say so. Like, Joy took a bit too much, and so did Lexa in his CS. Amazing, like the guys that actually should have been safe took some... I mean, it doesn't amount to much at the moment, but toward the end of the game, especially when you are a team on Mines that has to press forward toward the enemy, every careless shot you take on a start of the game can hurt quite a lot.
We could also see the I7 from Insane in the meantime retreat from the 3-4 line. Now back under the hill, so they have the double Eskong and an I7 under the hill. That's a very big commitment. In the meantime, though, we can see Rishek and his T100 pushed up to E1. He wants to take a bush there to spot out the crossing. So information here for Fame is plenty and available for the side of Fame. Like, they kind of know that LTP is fully on the eastern side.
Yeah, it does look like LTP is considering to do that 4-5 kind of line push together with Pincer from 8-9 lines. So I guess what this amounts to should envelop very soon, because I don't think they can do any kind of rotation back on island here. They're going to get instantly spotted by the T100, even shot by I7, probably even by Light before he runs away. Fame is also doing really progressive kind of defense. You can see like they're keeping an I7 here, double con here. So they're ready to snipe wherever the enemy moves. So that's way more serious kind of play than what they showed us yesterday. And that's the main reason why LTP is so hesitating, because pushing at the moment anywhere here would end up really miserable. I'm really thinking how will they actually try to deal with this. But this T100, like you can see him on island, he can really spot this rotation well.
Yeah, he can. He will actually see, I think, all the way even
I think
if
he will
CS is
see
trying
even
to cross.
mediums.
Yeah, I think he will see mediums as well, and that will be not that great for LTP because it gives away so much information. You got to push away the T100 first. Does he spot? Does Rishek spot? No, he tried to shoot actually, so he doesn't get the spot. But even now, there's 4 minutes and 30 seconds left. LTP has to make a decisive move, and they have to make it in the next 1 minute.
Well, they're trying to split, but there we go. Immediately as they peak, the CSs are immediately spotted. Like you can see the CS that's going on this side, he lit up from the T100, and that's why Rishek is now moving away, so he doesn't come in any kind of danger. Now the TVP is closing in because he knows that probably T100 move away, so he does it unspotted. It does look like LTP is doing pretty much the decent decision for this. They're gonna try to pressure the lower cap because 1 cap would be a suicide. Complete push to just try to annihilate Fame would not just be risky, but with the DPM of Superconks in those positions, suicidal. So they're gonna try to do the best with the lineup they have to pressure the lower cap, but Fame should have an answer for that also. Let's see their rotation. They're already closing it in toward the climb of the hill.
Yeah, Kaizu and Feli, maybe they can get some shots on towards 1-2 line if they push up further. I'm not exactly sure. But you can see LTP now sending over the double 113 into C1 to push out 1-2 line. But will they be able to beat Shockish and Rishek here in their T100 and I7 respectively? I'm not sure about that. If they take enough damage on the crossing, it's going to be hard.
All right. Fame is kind of 1 or 2 steps ahead here because they do have the Superconks preventing LTP from doing anything too aggressive from the hillside. And we have this final push ready for them. They have 2 113s rolling it in, and they're gonna try to hope in RNG's gods to help them while they're crossing this water. Instable is taking already 1200 damage, and he's not even halfway. Rem is on 700. This is kind of a slaughter, and it didn't even start.
Yeah, so far so good actually for the side of Fame. This time around, not missing the spot, connecting the shots. Even Kaizu and Feli with their pushed up position able to get those connections on towards those 113s. You can see Unstable here does not have an angle on towards the S-Kungs from Fame. And now Unstable and Remy are not able to push 1-2 line. They are not able to clear this. So LTP has to think about what they want to do next. Rishek though in his T100. Greedy!
What a mistake,
Rishek
bro.
misplaying completely, and now that will mean that Shockish does not have a shield available.
There is no shield, and there is also a lack of DPM now because Shoka would definitely need him to fight over Remy and Instable if he needs to jump on them. So while he was trying to spot, is anyone else coming? Because both of them are the only spotters on that side. Ooh, Lexa taking a careless shot in the ass at the moment. So Shoka is the sole guy surviving here. With DPM of I7, he should not be able to deal with 2 113s unless they don't pen their shells.
You know, Lexa there seems to be lacking some situational awareness there. But you can see in the meantime, Tankistador and his TVP is coming from behind. He wants to go behind Shockish and put a full clip in. He's actually going to make that work as well, but the time is low, Mojo. 1 minute and 23 seconds before this battle will automatically end. Tankistador here, you can see him on the flank. Needs to connect those shells. Is aiming that I7 space timer on the side. It's always a little bit annoying. Does seem to be connecting well now, though. I think he got 3 out of 4 there as well. 1 shot from the 113, but Remy and Unstable, they're both a 1 shot. Shockish, though, however, firing at Tankistador gives Unstable an opportunity here, but that got shut down from the very far back by Dakodet in that S-Kong. And now with 57 seconds remaining, LTP, it's not going to be... I mean, they can cap at the TVP, but
it's
Shockish
just
is
not
still
happening,
alive.
bro. Like, there is 5,000 different of HP in the teams. Even with Rish's careless move, I would say, this is not coming even close. It's not cutting even close. Like, Daku Death and Ilian are covering him, and they have so much HP they can actually push in. And Shockish sacrificed himself. He took out Remy, who was 1 shot there, and he doesn't care because this TVP cannot deal with 2 Super Kongs, even with that 113 in the back. Especially since we already saw double Super Kong below the hill are preventing the guys from playing too aggressive here. Aiza and Philly are making sure that their teammates are not taking too much damage.
Yeah, and a successful defense coming out from Fame, actually, this time around, getting the spots that they need, getting the connections as well on the crossing, being prepared and ready for whatever LTP is going to throw at them outside of Rishek's, let's say it, greediness there, which was definitely a greedy move. solid stuff after, and good covering fire coming out from Duck and Elin from the base, making it hard for Remy and Unstable to really do something after as well.
Yeah, I guess like as we said, this is much more compact and kind of a game that we would expect from Fame. Something that we would expect maybe to see yesterday on that Mines, but it just didn't happen. All in all, way better played. Nothing much to say about it. Very simple defense if you watch. But if you watch it up close, you must notice that also Fame did their internal rotations on time by their heavy tanks with that limited space they had to operate with. So it's not like they were just sitting and waiting for enemy to do nothing. Yeah, but you know, he can have 3 pens only, but it's not like he had any shots to begin with. So even with that limited space they had to operate with, they were already where they needed to be on time. Like reading the enemy moves. Are they going on left or right side of the map, abandoning this or that? So all in all, much better than yesterday. Aurel did really well with that CS, a lot of damage, but it's still not enough. It's not about one guy doing damage. Like you're in position to do it or not. It's about how your team is composed and what are you supposed to do. Like when guys are crossing with 1-1-3s, they can only pray to God they're going to even make it to other side, as example.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Damage doesn't always tell the whole story, but that is a successful defense coming out from Fame, making it 1-0. Again, this is obviously best of 5 mojo, so if Fame is able to pick up another round, then we are on match point.
And Fame traditionally picks defense first always, so they will be defending on Orowanka if it comes to that.
I don't know.
There is a coincidence, but tournament after tournament, whenever I watch Fame, it's like defense first, defense first, defense first. I don't know, do the other guys just let them defend?
They just like picking attack, man, honestly. I mean, I just had a flashback to a certain 15v15 tournament, a raid tiebreaker on Sand River, where I'm like, oh, we're playing attack. And then they picked attack, and I'm like, thanks. I appreciate that. I mean, this is a crossing hero, but this time around, Kaizu and Feli also have shots on them crossing as well. I think they hit 1 each, like Remy is down to 717 and Sable's down to 1048. If Rishak makes a shield here, the game is already over, to be honest.
Yeah, this is how it should be. I mean, they were even lucky that no one got checked. Like, if one of them got checked, but this is like, you could see from the start, they had not many options what to do on the map. Wherever they went, Fame was already there like 20-30 seconds ahead. So what are their options? If they just try to pressure the 2 cap while there is still I7 and T100 on the side, they're gonna just get shot for free. So it doesn't work. You need to pressure them.
You can see here the crossfire coming in as well. Elin, I think, bounced the shot, but then Duck comes in and finishes up Unstable as well. So even with Rishak dying, Shokesh was still pretty well covered.
I'm still wondering, would it pay off if you risk it and drive even further more with 1-1-3s, try to get at K2?
This situation, probably they should have, so the guys from the base can't really reliably hit shots. But
maybe at least like if CS crossed with them, he would get there, maybe. Because it's questionable would they have the speed for that. And then he could really harass Shoka in the T100. But already we said like initial moves in the game are where you receive a shell or 2 where you didn't have to. That means that maybe in a situation like this, you don't have enough HP to start to begin with. To do something like that risky. Like if you're on half HP with your medium, it's a high chance you're never gonna make it.
Lineups though, Mojo. 4 113s, an S-Conk, a CS, and an STB for the side of Fame. LTP coming out with the 4 S-Conks, the double I7, and the T100.
Yeah, it seems to be a standard setup for defense. LTP played it yesterday already on Mines in this exact lineup. And let's see what Fame wants to do with those 4 113s. I mean, we already saw in this kind of tournament where you cannot use reward tanks, 113s are usually used when you need to charge somewhere and hope you will survive enough to bring that DPM close to the enemy. You're definitely not going to play cooldown with those tanks.
Yes, enjoy
From
crossing.
very start, they're going immediately to the water.
Will they spot the I7 crossing though? That is the real question. It doesn't... Oh, no, they do. But do they do damage? They got 1 shot on towards Joy. That's it though. Only 1 coming out. Because they had all the 113s lined up in the water to try and shoot that, but I think Shoka got the spot a little late. Spawns are also very important in this kind of thing. You know, if the I7 spawns more towards the east, you'll be like 2 seconds later, everybody gets the shot.
Well, I've seen a lot of teams that actually they don't send the CS maybe on hill. They send it over the water because he can replace a spotter there, and he can reliably spot anyone crossing really early because of that innate speed of his. But Fame needed that CS to see the hill, so I guess they hope they will do enough damage on I7 even like this. Well, when that didn't work out and there is practically no damage done to that I7, time for a first rotation. As we said, since the timer is on 8 minutes now instead of 10, which is better for us watching, it limits teams how much they can linger, wait, and try to do damage on enemy. They actually have to be proactive, otherwise they will be stuck and out of the time, like in the last game, which we saw, where LTP was dragging their feet a bit.
Now we can see a movement on the eastern side by the triple 113 from Fame. I think Insane is going to take the building on the cap, and perhaps one of the 113s will come and cover him on the further building. We'll have to see. Trying to force the S-Kunk out. Shokish taking 2 shots of damage though.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Like, how did he get shot so much?
Can't have been overpeaking in some regards.
It looks like a lot of guys in CSs are prone to taking quite a lot of damage to try to feel out where is the enemy. Well, this is pretty much identical defense that LTP did yesterday. The only difference is that Remy is below the hill now and not Aurel. Pretty much that's it. Oh, Insane immediately taking the Amorex, which he has to repair. And he loses a lot of health there. He's stuck behind the building, so pretty much LTP knows the jig is up. They know that there is a rotation on that side. Now we need to see will Fame actually use this and try to rotate them on other side, maybe pressure the I7 and P100 on 1-2 line, or they're gonna stick with their initial plan and just like go for it and count that maybe the guys on the island will not be the part of the game and that they will have to deal only with 5 guys here. It looks like Fame is opting for that option because they're removing everyone from 1-2 line. So the logical move would be to push here, then put Superconk to the rock on F4, and then hope for the best brawl. Let's see how will that go, man.
Well, they're pushing forward here with the 113s on towards the position of Remy. He is the first obstacle. Duck is taking the brunt of damage. Rishak here on the move, coming out with a strong shot. Duck down towards 145 HP. He should get picked up here in a second. It's RL from the back actually finishing him off. Now Remy is still a 3-shot. Goes down towards a 1-shot now, but Rishek and Elian bleeding a lot for this as well. Elian now trying to shield his comrade from Poland. That's Rishek, and they pick it up. But now the repush coming back down again with an S-Kunk from Aurel. I'm not sure if this was the correct play, but the damage is coming in though. Aurel now tracked and held again. Elian getting crossfired from 2 sides, realizes he has to go forward. Otherwise he gets shot from behind as well. And now Aurel down towards the 1-shot, but Insane ammo racked again. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't have his rep kit available just yet.
It does look like Insane is wearing his ammo rack on top of his head, man, so he can get earlier and easier shot. But Elian is pressuring unstable, so he can protect Insane while he's crossing to back him up. And there you go, the repair kit is in for Insane, so it will be 2 against 1. The rest of the guys are handling and holding the hill, but still the HP is heavily on side of LTP. They're still around 3,000 up. If they get this position in the base of LTP, that means they can pressure the #1 cap, and that will be good for them. But they still need to kill Instable, and then they need to deal with that T100 light somehow.
Yeah, this pesky T100 is going to be annoying now. He actually makes Insane a 1-shot, and Lexta makes no issues about shutting him down. And now Elian
Nice work.
Suffering the same fate against Instable and Shokish and jumping off the hill. Maybe not the best dropping I've ever seen.
Shokish learning the values of gravity live.
Yeah, and that leaves 2 tanks left standing for the side of Fame and LTP on their defense, doing exactly what is expected of a Mainz defender, shutting it down.
Yeah, it was a good sturdy defense, nice shooting by them. I would say like the timing of T100 was really good here, coming back behind those 113s, risking it a bit and just like pumping damage because it was really needed. If that Superconk died, this would have been really insecure game for LTP. Even with the HP advantage, because they would be stuck in lower positions and they would have to cross open field and try to do something there. But like this, with the crossfire between that Superconk and T100, Insane melted and the other Superconk melted, and this is a GG for them.
This is indeed a GG for them. It's now Feli and Kaizu, the last 2 left standing. At this point, there's not much they can do anymore as Unstable comes in and picks up Fairly. Kaiser realizing that the game is over. Gets picked up by Alexa and LTP making it 1-1, moving on into Morovanka.
It's a good thing because LTP shows us they're not here by accident. As we already said, they survived 2 matches in lower bracket yesterday. They started from the lower bracket, so that means a single match you lose, you're out from the tournament already. And from the very start, they came to this tournament as completely unknown team. We had no prior knowledge of them, how will they perform or anything else. And they're actually doing really well for their first appearance on cameras. I would say more than well.
Well, indeed, very, very well. Mine's defense wasn't the easiest thing to win yesterday, but this time around teams seem to be doing slightly
I guess
better.
people were like watching, okay, we should really not do this kind of stuff anymore. I mean, once you get the basics and you know Mainz is small map and you know what you really need to watch for and how to rotate, it becomes really hard to break the defense. Really hard.
Yes, especially because you're like, one of the things is like people sometimes ask, so the defending team is bringing double I7, 4 S-Kunks and a T100. Now, why doesn't the attacking team just take a heavier lineup to counter this? Well, it's pretty simple. If you bring a heavier lineup from Mainz attack and they pick a slightly faster lineup and they take the hill, you've lost just the same way. It's just more suffering because they'll sit on the hill for 10 minutes.
It's a blind pick, guys. Like, you do not know what will enemy take. You can count, maybe they will do it, but you can never be sure. So once the game starts, this is the first moment you see what the enemy has. Sure, there is no fog of war, so you can judge what they will do in those first 30 seconds, but that's about
It's
that.
impossible to switch lineup at that point anyways.
Yeah. The lineups are pre-arranged, and they cannot be changed. Even if the game restarts due to crash before someone is spotted, as example, you still need to stick to the same tanks. That's it.
Now, Muro, have we seen Muro yet? I don't think so, right? I don't think we saw Morovanka yesterday. I think it was only once, and it was in the tiebreaker, and we never got to see the tiebreaker. So, I mean, this is Remy here, but the damage coming out is strong from LTP. The focus fire is good as well. You can see Duck there not having a good time whatsoever. And with Aking cross-firing, and then Remy takes 3 shots to die at this point. Tankista is already flanking around, and then Rishek is getting focused out as well. And they're kind of just sitting in the open here. And I thought for one moment there, actually, I mean, to be honest, RL's repush here was not even necessary. Like,
yeah, I was
it
a
wasn't
bit
necessary.
confused by that. That was way too risky because he was taking damage from several sides here. I mean, if he stayed, okay, there would be one more 1-1-3 down there, but there would be a double Super Conqueror there. And yeah, good luck with breaking double S-Conk. Actually, him pushing there brought this game to a kind of unstable finish because if T100 didn't come on time from back, if Tankista didn't come here, it would be questionable would Unstable survive. He probably wouldn't, and that would be then really risky situation for LTP.
Yeah, if the Unstable S-Kong dies, the cap is back open again. They have the hill, they can get some free damage, and yeah, they were a few thousand HP down, but that can swing really, really fast if you're forced to repush into positions that are strongly defended.
But Tankista do the rescue again. He performed yesterday on that ice for like a boss, man. Seriously. Anyways, that was one of the meme games of the century, I would say, to be honest.
Nightmare material.
Yeah. Anyways, 1-1, Fame versus LTP. We are watching the first game in a lower bracket, where both teams are at the moment. So whichever team loses, they're out of the tournament. It's best of 5, so who comes to the 3 first, he wins. The next map we'll be watching Muro. It's a premiere on the tournament. As Lucky already said, they were set to be some of the tiebreaker maps yesterday, but we never came to it. So we'll be watching first time here since the group stage, which was, of course, not streamed on this channel. But if you're really interested, there were some guys who were streaming, like from German Potatoes, I think Jakefa, and some other guys, so you could see some Morovanka there.
Now, lineup-wise, Fame coming out with the 113, the IS-7, the Crown, the S-Kung, the Double Bat, and the STB. LTP with the triple IS-7, a Double Bat, a Leo, and a T100, actually.
It's interesting, like they have Leo for this sniping and Double Bat for rotation and triple IS-7. Yeah, you can see that they're doing the push kind of threat. On the other hand, Fame has a setup that could be used for both attack and defense, to be honest, with this Super Conk and Crown Wagon. Like when I was watching them before, they were usually playing really moderate and just like sticking around the upper cap with that setup.
I'm not sure. I mean, this lineup that Fame has, I think they've also played like water with it, but it's kind of hard because you need to do the right rotations. But you're right, they're sticking mainly around the base number 1. They are putting the i7 in K5 though, but not all the way. There's a little hold on there, but I think he's just chilling in a bush right now.
It's a bit different, like from what Fame used to do before, from what I've seen, because they're more focused forward at the moment. In other games, they were a bit more laid back and waiting, you know. But this is like they're sprang to help each other immediately. You can see 2 groups of 3 tanks covering each other, and i7 in a deep cooldown in the back. So it's all about how will they actually respond to what they see or don't see on time. Like you have this 113 ready behind this house. These guys ready to push forward if needed immediately. These 3 guys ready to snipe. Butchet spotting from the bush. Like he's the sole spotter at the moment. And we have i7 in the deep cooldown on the lower part of the map here.
Equipment choice on the S-Conk is also a little interesting. You know, turbo, HP, and a rammer.
Well, S-Conk has a really decent gun, so you don't need much more. But if you need to cross from A to B, and there are situations with Kongs here, that will save you a lot of HP.
You can see LTP just feeling out the south-hand side. They're using the T100 to figure out if there's somebody in the bushes, because obviously you can put a bat in the bushes as well. It's not as good as a T100, but it is a possibility though. And he'll realize that there is nobody preventing him from capping, but the i7 could go and spot him, and Insane reveals his position.
Here you go, T100 pressuring the cap now, guys. Now the way to respond to this, there is a multiple ways. First, what will come, Fame will try to blind shoot all the possible angles. There is 1 or 2 bushes around that cap. They're gonna try to shoot, but you know, from distance, it's not the easiest thing. There is a lot of angles, and you also need to count the altitude. Is different from the positions they're shooting to, so you can easily miss. You can hit like 1 millimeter next to the tank. It's just not gonna work out. Then will come the plan B. They will have to send the budget next to the house in front that you see. Like that's the plan B, and if that happens, there will probably be a push follow-up by everyone else.
Well, the cap has started. I thought the i7 could maybe spot it, but so far Tankistador seems to be chilling. 53 seconds remaining here. They are blind firing, I think, the wrong side of the cap. Philly now switching to the right side of the cap, but obviously T100 is really hard to decap, especially because of that low profile as well. And there might have to be an overreaction here from Fame Mojo. 38 seconds, 37 seconds.
It looks like Philly is the only guy who could even land the shot there. As I said, there is a difference in altitude, and everyone needs to be very well aware of it. Like while the Gold League was on, that was one of the prime things that people were using. You can see Tankista even doesn't have a Camonet or anything. He's just sitting there with his low profile, and that's it. That's more than enough.
He has the Bounty low noise exhaust system though as well, Mojo, something to take into account. That is a kind of a new thing, right? Because we have low noise exhaust, but Bounty.
For the spot.
Yeah, so he does get the spot, but they need to kill Tankistador for this. If they don't, it is not worth it. Can they kill Tankistador? Shokesh here onto him for 3 misses, but Recheck picks it up from the back. Shokesh is driving in between anybody and everybody. Not the worst trade for Fame, actually, Mojo, unbelievably enough.
It was so horrendous, like they would lose within 1 or 2 seconds, but now actually everything is fine for them, because LTP lost a prime tool for capping. There is no one else they can place instead of that T100. If that T100 was alive on 100 HP, they could do another cycle of this, and Faye would have nothing to do except hope they blind shoot him, or maybe they would need to send another butshot to do the same. But now LTP is actually in dire situation, because out of 8 minutes they lost most of their time, and that will require for them to rotate now, not tomorrow, now guys, and start the pressure and fight. You have no capping options anymore.
What would you do now if you were LTP, Mojo?
There's not much choice, man. You need to pressure them, go below and fight.
I mean, they are starting to move the Bat back to the church, but he was there before. The Leo is going towards the Kalan with the I7, though. They can't kill the I7 from here. They need to like push it into the city to actually make that work.
Yeah, they need to go to like G4 or 5 so they can actually shoot him to proxy those guys above to push them back by Leo. Leo can snipe them really nice then. And if they kill the I7, then they can pressure the K line maybe. Fame is expecting them on 1 cap. You can see this. They're more expecting than them. That's why they're keeping that 1-1-3 all the way back there. But it's 2 minutes and 20 seconds. This is the similar as Mines scenario. They're hesitating and they're wasting a lot of time, and they're gonna end up in a situation where they will simply have no time, even if everything goes well, to clear up the enemy.
I mean, they will kill the I7 now, you would guess, right? Because they're going under, but then they have 2 minutes left with that time to make something happen. And now the Kranwagen peeking from the top, doesn't connect on his first shot, doesn't connect on his second one either. The third one, though, on the back of Unstable should be no issue. Now, crossfire coming in from the K-line, from the boys from LTP, but Insane yet still alive in that I7. And the 115 in F1 mojo, like you said, he's still covering there. So Aking here needs to be really careful in this peak, because it could cost him a lot of HP. I don't think he's aware just yet. Now he is though Feli in that S-Skunk. It's great frontally, but once you start getting shot from multiple angles, it doesn't hold up that much. Finally, they seem to be getting some shots on towards Insane, but the cost of this Lexa down towards the one shot. Lexa actually goes down. The recheck from the very far back, and Aking and Aurel here trying to find an opening in the Fame defense, realizing that there is none right now, backing off again to try and go around. Duck holding that position, Rishek now coming closer. Aurel takes one on the way out, and Fame now with an HP lead and time on their side. I don't know, it's going to be hard for LTP. They're even trying to run away, maybe trying to go back towards the cap, but does Aurel make this? Does he even get out of here on time? No, he doesn't, as Rishek comes in and cleans up another one, getting 3 kills in this round. And with 53 seconds left, Unstable here is in an unstable situation, as the Kran is now starting to clip out on towards him. He has one more, does connect that one very, very nicely, and will leave Remy, Aking, and Joy, and I don't think it's going to work like this.
No, it's not going to work. Their call was to clear the immediate danger of Fame sniping them, and then to try to pressure the cap with 3. So they were actually never in for a full-fledged fight. They just try to push them away and hope they will do enough damage and survive with enough tanks that they will be able to cap, but it's just not happening, and Fame was right on it. They read them really well what's gonna happen, so they were following them right behind and shooting them all the time. Now we have only 2 guys remaining, 1 guy now, only Joy on the cap. He doesn't have the time, he doesn't have the HP, and that's the end of this game.
Now the real question is as well, I didn't pay attention to it, how early Shokish got spotted. If Shokish gets spotted kind of early, Tankista always needs to leave the cap. I mean, you need to draw out the bat far enough that you can kill him, but you cannot sit there.
Shoka was spotted already while going down, but they didn't connect him enough.
But you need to draw the bat out, right? But then also you need to run. Like, you have to run.
Yeah. Like, Tankista was... I mean, I was surprised. Shoka even had a kill shot himself. He survived so long. He should have died way earlier. Like, he was not the one to pick up the light himself, like with that second shot after, but he should have definitely died way earlier. And usually, like, if you remember, yeah, as you said, like the Gold League matches from before, as soon as that guy is spotted going down, the light never risks. He always abandons the cap the very same second.
I mean, they still had some time at that point, though, to work with. I don't.
Yeah, like... he could return to cap like 30, 40 seconds later. No problems whatsoever. But that's always the price of inexperience. As we said, like, this is the first big tournament, 7-on-7. It's not like they had like some master experience from playing a couple of seasons in Gold League or something. This is a lot of new ground to cover for most of these players. So they can rely on maybe watching a video or 2 from some different times or some different players. But it's one thing to see something, and it's very different thing to actually understand the timings yourself. What are you supposed to do? And to align it all well with other 6 guys, of course.
Well, we'll have to see if Fame is able to do it on their attack. I mean, Muro is notoriously also kind of hard. Shokish is not spotted yet, though, at this point.
No, it was actually a late spot.
He's right. Spotted kind of late, but Tankista, if he runs here, he might still make it.
It was really late spot, man, actually.
Yeah, he got spotted at like G5. Good driving by Shokish, I guess. This is the kill shot here, I mean...
Or bad positioning by LTP.
Or that is also obviously a possibility.
Like if they had one guy somewhere closer, he would see him.
They had
way
somebody
away.
at the church. They had somebody at the church
But-
for a while, but he left.
He left because they probably guessed there will be multiple people attacking, so they didn't want to lose one tank for free, you know? I understand that, but still, everyone was just on 7 line. That's too far back. Too far back. You need to have at least someone on that 6 line. At least there. Behind one of the houses to see him. And you can assist your player there also. Way better than around the church.
Well, we'll have to see if Fame can bring out something better on their attacking side. I mean, it wasn't actually bad by LTP. It's just missing a little bit of... I think maybe the spot did surprise Tankistador, and he thought maybe I can make it. There was only a few seconds left. Like, it was really close, but risking it in the light...
Ah, that greed. One more shot. The bane of all the Clippers. One more second. The bane of all the lights.
Just one more second and I would have had it.
Well, difference between a 0 and a hero, right?
True. Yesterday was a hero, today he's a 0.
We will see. He played well on the first games on Mines. Still, there is another round on Murovanka. Now, this is already a match point for Fame, guys, since we said already. It's best of 5. It's currently 2-1 for Fame. So they will be attacking on Murovanka to progress further in the tournament, and LTP will be playing to stay. Their defense. So we'll see, like, is Fame able to show us something that these guys are not aware of, or if they're even aware, can they stop it?
Maybe they'll bring the mouse, dude. It's possible.
It's not unheard of.
They've done it before. I've played that. The mouse is actually fun, dude. It's so
not
funny,
unheard
dude.
of.
It's so funny, man. Like driving a mouse on Muro, in practice against Russians, dude. It's so funny, man. It's like, you know, you're just driving casually.
Did you even reach the cap with that?
No, dude. Like I was going solo to 6-0 line, and then everybody else was going to the camp, and then the bats came over to 7 line. They couldn't kill me in 2 clips of APCR. It's great, dude. I love mouse. Oh, no mouse, man. But they have a T100 and a CV, a double bat, a 277, and a double Kran, actually. Well, to be way heavier. Triple I7, Kran, Icecoon, bat, and CS.
It's quite interesting. Like, that CS especially, what they want to do with him. Like, is he Lexa meant to do some forward spotting in a start, or they're gonna YOLO him later if needed? Well, let's see. Fame has a lot of Clippers in their setup, 4 out of 7 people, plus they have Rishek on that T100 light, so that definitely means they will more likely, if the picks allow, pressure the second cap.
See here, LTP, kind of similar to Fame Mojo, but no tank on the K-line, going full 1-2 in the beginning.
Yeah, 1-2, 1-2. It's not a scenario we haven't seen from them yet. Kaiza and Insane are going for the corner of E2. They should spot, like, Alexa is spotted behind that house now.
Oh my god, is the triple I7 pushing straight around?
Oi, 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 oi. I don't think Fame is in position to actually help them.
They stopped. It would have been so nice if they kept going.
They will catch them for sure. But there you go. The push is coming in a couple of seconds later. I don't think the Fame actually responded to that, but now Aizu and Insane are actually safe because they're on other side of the hill, which is a completely different story than if they would get caught here on this crossroad.
Yeah, indeed. And Shokish and Failure are putting blind clips out in the meantime on towards E1. You can see that by the reload timers that they're now fully on reload. Kaiser grabbing a reload as well, and Insane still having 2 shells available. They do realize, though, they've taken a lot of map control very quickly, the Mojo. They've taken under, they're still holding north.
Yeah.
They have the K-line as well. The only thing I don't like maybe is that the T100 doesn't really have much support, so if he does get pushed, he could die.
Technically, if they judge there is no one there beside T100, yeah, but that would be a blind play by this Bachat. Because CS cannot really move on his own, and Bachats from Fame are now rotating. So the difference is, guys, if the Crown Wagons were driving like this, if they get caught here, there is no support. They are dead. But LTP didn't know that. And
well, if LTP chased straight after them, they would dead in the water.
Yeah, but you could not push with Crown Wagons to this position from here because you can get sniped from this position. So they had to do it that way. And as soon as the Crown Wagons reach this position here, they're safe because their teammates from here can shoot. Here, dead Crown Wagons. Here, safe Crown Wagons. Big difference.
And now, Fame making rotations, obviously. They are trying to readjust to the map control they have, and now you can see that the cap has been started. That is the T100. Well, probably the rest of the tanks will be focused on covering those Crown Wagons, because they are the one tank that can be pushed. You can immediately see LTP reacting with their triple IS-7, takes one shot from the STB from the back, with Elian and Feely are there as well, but at IS-7, it's hard to pen those, Mojo.
Interesting, like there is not a single I7 on A5. So they were focused more on fighting from the start. LTP, they do not want to do the spotting game. They're keeping a budget to push him later. And there we go, already Kaizo is dead. I don't think Fame actually expected this, man.
I'm not sure what just happened. Kaizo tried to go up and over, Insane trying to do the same thing, but he's getting absolutely dominated by Aking, and the crossfire coming in from behind from those IS-7s, and now Duck forced to cross over as well, trying to cover Elian and Feely, and those IS-7s, Mojo, Bats and 277s kind of struggle to bend these, and now Feely on the run, on the move, gets absolutely decimated as well for this. Truckish now desperately trying to cover maybe the cap or go into the cap, because they are going to lose this game if it keeps going like this. 4,000 HP lead for the side of LTP, and now, in the meantime, Rishek, does he stay on the cap? Yeah, he will try and stay on the cap, but Mojo, there needs to be some damage done here.
There is no way Fame is getting out of this one, man. They're drawn into the close combat fight where LTP actually has the advantage, and they still have all 7 tanks in the game, unlike Fame, who are down to 4, of which one is Light. Okay, Light on this map can do wonders, but you need to have some room to play with. Chokish is already stuck here. He's on 1 shot, and he will be inserted shortly. There we go. That's the end of him. Feely is behind on his budget on 1 shot, and Rishek is hiding behind on full HP. Like, it's really bad when you have the only one guy with full HP in Light.
Yeah, those double crowns there did not seem fully ready for that IS-7
Bro, it's
move.
not about crown wagons, it's about the tactics itself. Actually, Fame kind of, let's say it like this, they underestimated the LTP's simple plays that we've seen yesterday. You remember how they played Steps? Steps, technically hard map to play, tactically really hard to play. What they did it as simple as possible, man. They just push where they think is the weakest part of the map. So what they did here is they pretty much used the only gap that Fame had, and I don't think they even knew that Fame had that gap. They just risked it. Fame never had anyone here properly covering this crossfire.
I mean, a triple IS-7, it's
but
a
there was
lot
no
of
one.
HP, man.
And Crown Wagons, when they saw them here, they had no choice, man, because there was no proper cover. They really had no choice. They tried to go up, but they were shot in a crossfire. I mean, Kaizo just died instantly.
Him and Insane tried to do some up and over movement, which I don't understand. I think at that point in the Crown, you are forced to clip the IS-7s to the best of your capabilities. I think, honestly, if you're playing the Crown there, you are going to die. I think you both move to the corner and try and kill one of the IS-7s together. Because now, Kaizo does 0. I mean, Insane is 1.3, but...
I think they were just caught with their pants down, man. You could see that none of the guys were positioned to actually help against the push of triple IS-7 there. No one was.
I mean, Duck got 1 shot on them.
Yeah, Duck was even from the wrong side of the hill, man, and then he had to go back and shoot them from other side and stuff like that. Like, there was virtually no real support. They had 4 clippers. Fame had 4 clippers, 2 budgets and 2 crown wagons. And you can see that no one did anything special. They were in no position to deal with this. So
Simple
LTP
but
used
effective.
the best of their setup, man.
Simple but effective Reapers coming out from LTP, and now, I mean, they deserve to be on in tiebreaker, because neither of these 2 teams showing us enough to convince us that they deserve the win just yet. LTP will also have the tiebreaker choice in which side they want to be playing.
Yeah, interesting is none of these teams want attack, guys. So when you don't have that, then you actually go with damage, cumulative damage, as far as I remember, is calculated, and apparently they have more in attack rounds, and that's how it counts. Himmelsdorf will be the tiebreaker map, and to be honest, it's one of the maps where the being defender is not necessarily a huge advantage. Like, even with this system of 1-2 caps, it's still not that huge advantage.
LTP, Mojo, whispered in my ear, they will be defending. This is it, by the way, the moment. If Glow and Stable and Joy keep going here, guys went insane. We'll just
They could have already won here, but they didn't know. They didn't know that there is no one on one line covering those crown wagons, as example. So they were afraid of that, I guess. If they caught them there before they went around the corner, the game will already end. Well, pretty much a similar scenario happened a bit later, right?
Yeah, with a slight delay, kind of the same thing indeed happened.
As
and
Phil,
this
the
is
German
like
fairy said, they
guys
will
are
be
striving up and over
ending.
here.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, he probably saw them too late, and they were just like already pummeling him. I mean, look at the position of STB. He's in no position to kill them. And even if he was, what would one STB do against 3 IS7s, man?
Not much.
Also, Butchats are trying to clip, but it's really limited what can even they do against IS7s. IS7s still do have some armor, and with Butchat to clip, you still have to open yourself. You either have APCR loaded, or if you have heat, there is a lot of rubble here, which is a big
And then
problem
even
there.
then, you're shooting at IS7s.
Yeah.
And they are, it's not the greatest tank in the world, but like, bad shotgun on range against IS7 might hit the track, might hit the upper hull, might hit the turret, and if they're going to the side, you might hit the spaced armor. Bots kind of struggle.
There was a
IS7.
lot of things that could go wrong for Fame here, and all of them went wrong, I would say that. So we will watch the tiebreaker. LTP proving us again that they are not here by chance on this tournament. Maybe their solutions to some of the maps are way more simple than we think, but to be honest, not all of the solutions need to be like some brainiac effort. Some of the games that are the best to see, as example, when we watched like those Russians play the maps, they always looked very simple.
Simple but effective is, sometimes you don't need to overcomplicate things.
Yep.
You just keep it clean, you keep it simple, stick to the basics. We saw yesterday, I think Potatoes was the perfect example of trying to make some very, very, interesting, let's put it, interesting stuff. And it didn't always work, It can doing something special can backfire really easily.
Well, Himmelsdorf, we've seen a bit of it yesterday, and we've seen that a lot of defending teams actually like to attack. LTP was one of them, if you remember. Like in one of the games, they actually pushed even the hill. Like that surprised me a lot. Like I haven't seen something like that in a while. But what will work against Fame in their case now?
Well, LTP must know a way, or think they know a way, to make it happen. So
in one game they pushed the rail in one game in defense, and in one game they pushed the hill in defense. So what are they going to try against Fame? Because I don't think they can just rely on something like that against such an experienced team, though. Well, it did work on Morovanka, but on Himmelsdorf you cannot really move around unspotted that much.
Lineup wise, so LTP, IS4, double 50B, triple S, and a Yak Panzer 100.
Oh.
Alright, Fame at the W100, 277, BAT, 50B, and double 113.
Okay, this is really not a standard setup, but this is not really well made for push with these triple conks and 2Bs. They're good for rotation. But you need to anchor somewhere.
I feel like they have to go 1-2 line LTP almost.
They can send an IS-4 there, but they're gonna actually send IS-4 together with JP and push those 5 guys on 1-2 line.
The Yak Panzer does have 420 pen, Mojo.
Yes, when it actually connects to pen. That's the big flaw of Jack Panzer, man. Like with 420, when you don't pen a tier 8 vehicle, it really doesn't.
Imagine if you pen Celion right here, right now. 1.3 to the face.
Right now.
1.3 to the face. Could happen.
It could. I could even imagine one very angry Polish if it did.
So could I. But I think a Frenchman would be more angry. Angry? Angry is a new word. Would be more angry. That's what to say.
It's a nice way to call someone angry. Angry. Are you angry? Okay, you can try using it in Clan Wars, man.
No, I don't think I will. I don't even think that I'm playing the campaign.
Aww. Well, Tankista in his favorite IS4 is left on Meritorious corner of death on A6, so he is waiting to see is there any rotation from the upper zero line. Jack Panzer is on a corner behind him. Not sure what to say about all that. Fame is just like feeling them out at the moment. They have a couple of guys on a hill, a couple of guys on the lower side ready to help each other. Fairly Rishek and Insane, they actually look like they might actually go down the hill.
Yeah, they do look like that, but Aking there is still waiting for this. Does Insane just go for it full speed? Doesn't care. Backpanzer won't hit this, I swear. Oh, it peaks now. Needs to be careful now, 113. He should know that the Backpanzer might be lurking in the shadows.
Yeah, he must be aware of that. Well, Fame is attacking, guys, and they're playing for staying in the tournament, same as LTP, who are defending and they can afford all the time in the world. Now we have this lineup on 1-2 line. You can see the Super Conk and then B covering him in the back. That's something that's been used a while ago, like a long ago. And I would say that was even broken by actually hard pushing 1-2 line before. But Fame is really dispersed all over the place and they're not ready to do something like that.
I'm just wondering if Insane will cross at some point, if the Backpanzer will hit. The rest of his team is rotating back down.
Yeah, they're
though.
rotating back.
I wonder if they pushed Lexa. Did they manage to push Lexa off the spotting angle? I don't think Glauom and Unstable can spot it for themselves.
I really
Well, I
like
remember,
these
I don't
small
think they
periods of time where teams are trying actually to think what to do. Be aware, guys, because of 8-minute timer, so we have 4.5 minutes in a game. Whatever Fame does next, that will be it. That will be their play, and they're going to have to stick to it till the end. And both teams will be well aware of that. So I guess they're counting that Super Conks and Bs are all down, and that they should pressure. By now, usually the teams, when it comes to 50% time, they will usually retract from that
I see a
one-two
big
line
issue here.
and
The
go
size
back.
4 is about to die and explode in 3.5 seconds.
Yeah.
He's
That's what
about,
I'm
because
saying.
they didn't have a
These
spot on
guys
the
on
8 line.
1-2 line should already be moving. They
They-
should know.
They don't have a spot on the 8 line, so Tankistador now gets completely surprised, gets tracked, gets held by Shockish, takes 1, takes 2, takes 3, takes a lot more. There's not going to be any hero shenanigans here as he gets baited and outplayed because the insane 113 was just peeking with him. Tankistador thought that his teammates had him covered, but they did not. They had no
Okay, this
spots.
is a major issue for them now because now you can see the cap is going on and that leaves no options to LTP except to gather up and push. With that slow Jack Panzer, that means only 5 guys will be able to push properly and they will have to do it in suicidal fashion in next few seconds. Third guy on the cap, just to make them come harder toward Fame and lose more HP in that initial brawl. 15 seconds to go, man.
Well, they're definitely going to have to push hard here as RL is pushing from the north side. We can see Stablecoin from the bottom side at 50B, desperately trying to get a reset. But at that point, they're already down 3,000 HP. They do get the resets, and now the game will go into fighting mode, and Stable's pushing in with his 50B, but that's not really what you want to do. But what else is he supposed to do? As now the tanks are pushing back around, the Jagdpanzer is on reload as well. And yes, it hurts, and yes, the Jagdpanzer stings, but it doesn't really matter when you lose double 50B to even get a reset.
Yeah, this is a game done with the loss of that IS4. There is nothing poor LTP can do except try to fight and do some damage, but that's just a glorious ending. A-King is already on 400 HP. He does do 1100 connection on Iliad. It doesn't matter. It's too little and too late now. Glaum and Joy in the Super Conks are already getting counter-pushed by Fame, and they will be focused out shortly by E100s with small guns.
And don't forget the cap is still on in the meantime as well, and only the Jagdpanzer in position to never mind. The Jagdpanzer has now gone down, and Glauom will surely follow him to the grave as Kaizu in the E100 is to pick it up, and Fame win the tiebreaker in a convincing fashion, 7-0.
Good read by Fame what to do at the end. So they are proving us they still know how to play Himmelsdorf at least, if they are not aware of all the timings on other maps. On other hand, a bit more to be desired by LTP, a brave choice to leave Himmelsdorf as a tiebreaker against Fame, I would say that. But they really played well on this tournament, and I don't think they should be sorry about anything. They survived 2 death rounds on a loser bracket from the start, and brought the game against the last tournament's champion Fame to the tiebreakers. So congratulations to you guys. Although you lost, there is still more tournaments to come. On the other hand, could be say I'm happy for Fame to stay in the game because I'm hoping nice shooting by Philly, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, just the way you look, Mojo.
Wow, man.
You're welcome.
I hope you actually meant it and it was not a satire. But it's
what
too
do
much
you mean? I have never used satire in my life.
Every time I watch it. That's how it goes.
I would never do such a thing. Why can't
Never.
people
You're
just?
a kind soul.
Why can't people just trust me that I'm just
It has to do something with your face.
a kind human being? I only make fun of people who deserve it. Reaction, Kihan. I mean, Kihan, dude, don't even get me started there. He deserves everything he's getting.
He has a lovely bow tie. Don't touch him now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would still touch him.
Okay,
bow tie.
never mind. Congratulations to Fame for staying alive in the tournament, so they passed the first hurdle. But next we will have to see the match after this between Clown School and Invil to see who will be playing Fame in the final of the loser bracket. This was no way to run away with this IS-4 in this position. No way.
No, Tankistador there, he thought he had an 8-line spot, so he was just checking for the 0-line crossing. He lost the 8-line spot, Fame waited, they grouped up all their tanks, waited for even for the E100, and then peeked him, double-tracked him, killed him immediately.
Usually he would have to hug the building behind, but he just, when you're pretty much checked, it just doesn't happen.
I mean, and then the 50Bs, they're the fastest tanks to get back and they have to reset. It's not like Unstable there and RL could really do anything else.
It's like throwing your most precious and best weapon you have, and they're gonna die. I mean, the only value of 50Bs on a map like this is because they can run away and reload and come back. And comes the moment where Jack Panzer finally does the shot. Bam!
Oh my god, dude. Big damage. I love to see it. Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's already done and dusted, though.
Well, at least he didn't go as a potato out, He did one shot.
One shot, but he wasn't really that useful. Yeah, he can give a big, one-dimensional tanks like the Yak Panzer. If they cross the 0 line, he will give 1k damage, probably, but... I mean, Fame is not stupid either. They also realize what the Yak Panzer is for.
Of course. Anyways, that's it from us for now, guys. The analysts are ready. I'm sure they have a lot to talk about. This was the first tiebreaker we had in the tournament so far. So, guys, take it away.
Well, hello and welcome back to the analyst's desk. And just as you said, guys, there's a lot to talk about because in the best of 5 we just saw, we saw 5 rounds, and that means it was brought to a tiebreaker, basically. And in tiebreakers, as we know, anything and everything can happen, but the favorites, I would say, in this matchup, they did claw out ahead in the end.
Yeah, exactly. Fame with their history of either being Gold League or another tournaments. They have the experience and they showed how to perform under pressure, and even the games that LTP won were not as decisive as when Fame was winning their rounds. So the Himmelsdorf, which is usually considered one of the 50-50 maps where defensive side is not heavily favored, unlike, let's say, Murvanka, Fame managed to claw it to the victory.
Yep, and that means we are gonna see Fame at least once more later today in match 7. First of all, we're gonna see match 6 though, in between TCS, Tropical Clown School, and Invil, the Polish guys, which had a very, very strong showing yesterday against GP. Not to take away anything from TCS, they did manage to best Fame, and they did so also quite convincingly. So looking forward to that one. However, first of all, I guess we are gonna have the replays of all the 5 rounds we just witnessed. Obviously also the 3 maps. Mines, which saw 2 defensive wins. Muro, which saw 2 defensive wins. And then the tiebreaker, where LTP picked defense, and it got the first. Fame basically got the first offensive win of the match and of today on the board.
Yeah, like I said, here the Himmelsdorf is one of the maps where the defense is has to be careful because there is a lot of angles they can get. But back to the mines, it was the first battle we saw, and it seems like Fame was rotating like 10 or 20 seconds before LTP was ready to make the move, and they were so ready for everything. And the only mistake that happened was Rishek being not as careful as he should have been, getting clipped by the Kranwagen from the hill and failing to make cooldown for Shokish. But in the end it didn't matter because unlike yesterday, Fame had both of the Super Kongs on the base and they were able to cover Shokish remarkably well, with Instable just getting killed by them.
Yep, and also you can see just because Fame didn't lose the island, the 1-2 line here, they weren't forced into that repush that no one wants to do, basically the repush onto the hill where they would have gotten crossfire. They still do that now with the S-Kongs, but they can do that because, well, basically CS and TVP are right now in the 2 cap, so they couldn't have shot, and the 113 was one shot being controlled by Shokish. Now on to round number 2, LTP in the defense and Fame, they are trying the 8-9 line push here. However, yeah, the crossfire, it just was there for LTP. They had double Super Conk in the back, one Super Conk below the hill, plus also the IS-7s helping. And, well, even if you are triple 113, you're not able to sustain that kind of firepower against yourself.
Even the Super Kong from K5 is able to shoot at like the G line when they were crossing, so he was able to do 1 or 2 shots on the 113, so he wasn't useless in the back, and he was also covering the island if there was like a repush on the IS-7s on the island. Yeah. And now we are just seeing the Conquistador in E100 rotating and putting a shot on Insane that made him one shot for the Super
Yeah,
Kongs.
and also the T100 in the back there, obviously serving as that time pressure element for the 113s. They have no time whatsoever to think about how to outplay the Super Kong. They are constantly getting pummeled in the back. Time is running short, and yeah, they have to make a move, and they lost. Now, this is probably the closest we ever get to seeing an attacking win during the first 4 rounds of this match. Shokish basically being suicided here, gets unlucky even that his second shot doesn't connect, trading himself out for Conquistador, so good shooting by the guys in the back here, taking out the light tank, because if the light tank doesn't die, then, well, he just lets the Batchat die and goes back into cap again, and the defender is back to square one, just down a tank, because it doesn't matter if you have full HP or 1 HP, you still generate the cap points all the same.
Exactly. And Shokish was unspotted. Ducky touched on it, and Shokish was unspotted a lot. Longer than I thought before. He was spotted at like 5 or 6 line, so a lot of LTP guys didn't even have the shot pre-aimed. And now we are seeing the defense of LTP, and this could have been easy win after like 2 minutes if the I7s with the Kranwagen were just to push Insane and Gaizu.
Yeah, I was a little surprised also at this tactic. I mean, yeah, you generate a lot of map controls with double Kran there now, but there is so many things that can go wrong, and LTP are not the ones to sit passive normally. In this tournament we saw them do a lot of aggressive moves. Indeed, that's what they do now. If they had done that immediately, I think they could have had the defensive win much earlier. And yeah, the Kranwagens that die for free, and no one could really cover them.
Yeah, because usually when you are playing the tactic, like Fame is playing, you are expecting to have like double Super Kong, RLS DB and something like this. So you are not able to repush just like LTP did, but you have the triple IS-7 that just doesn't care and that's like way more HP and way bigger alpha, and they can just trade the Super Kongs easily, and that's exactly what they did. So I don't think it was straight up counter from LTP, but it was one of the options they had on the ground, on the table, just because of the group of the I7s. And now we are seeing the unfortunate Conquistador, where there was some miscommunication from the team, where there wasn't a spot on the 8 line, and he was caught out basically for free. It wasn't his mistake.
I
It
think
was
one of the
a team
50Bs was
communication.
supposed to cover that, or even the Super Conk that got forced off the angle on the F line that was supposed to spot the 8 line. No one gave that information, so yeah, then the IS-4, I mean, it's meaty, it does have armor, but not when completely sideways, then he gets double-tracked and it's over. And at this point also, it all starts to fall apart for the Frenchies here that have put in a valiant effort, but nonetheless, Fame in their backyard of Himmelsdorf managed to take the last round simply by incapacitating the IS-4, and after that, well, there's nothing to really stop the cap apart from suiciding tanks, and if you have to suicide your tanks just to be able to prolong the game, that's when you are obviously losing. Also, the Batchat on the 277 there with very nice shots on the Jack Panzer. I mean, props for the tank pick, but yeah, in the end it didn't work out.
The Yak Panzer was a very strange pick, but it kind of makes sense because usually the attacking team picks an E3 to sit in there. But if the Yak Panzer can sit outside of the view range of the E3, he can pen the roof of the E3 all the time. And if he hits half of the shots, the E3 is dead in like a minute and 20 seconds. And then they don't have a pressure on that, and they can play way more freely as a defender. But unfortunately, Fame was able to rotate through the 8 line for free, and the Yak Panzer didn't really come into play, and it didn't matter if it was Yak Panzer, or if it was E100, or if it was E3, because the tank just didn't matter, as the cap was the decisive factor.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine if the Yak Panzer with its 420 pen just gets a pen high roll up to like 500, then even the E3 is like, that one's probably gonna go through. Anyway, I think that's quite enough for us. From us for the time being. So let's head over to the casters for the battle in between Invil and Tropical Clown School.
One day I will figure out how buttons work. I promise it. I'm doing it on purpose. I'm just trying to make Mojo look smarter because he doesn't have issues with forgetting to unmute. I, however, with my small brain and limited intelligence, do suffer. But Mojo,
Hello,
Invil,
yesterday. Never mind.
True. Invil against the Tropical Clown School.
Clown School,
yeah, Clown School. It's a little bit of an Invil versus Invil match, a little bit as well. You know, it's a little bit Cat's Eye versus Piotr. In a way, I'm seeing a story there.
Piotr is just like a coach, I guess, and he's not playing, so that's a big difference. Anyways, Clown School here, these are mainly GX guys, plus call me Piotr, who is actually not showing up in the matches. We saw these guys play on a previous tournament. Well, they did fall out in the first round, but they still showed up, and they were called Tropical Cyclone back then. So this is edition 2.0 Clown School. So we progressed from Cyclone to Clown School. And we already said, you can see the Cyclone covered with this nice smiley.
That is just,
here.
You know, a piece of work. It looks like something Kihan would make to me.
It's majestic. It's majestic. Anyways, this is all international team. Not many people from the same countries here. So all experienced players. We will see how they progressed from the last tournament to this one. They showed really well appearance in the first match where they beat Fame 3-1. Now we have Invil, who did play their first match yesterday against German Potatoes. It was Polacks against Germans, and it went really sourly for Germans, 3-0 for Invil. We've seen this team play the last tournament also. Twice they had match points against Fame, one in a winner bracket finals. They had like a match point, and then they had 3-0 in the final itself against Fame, and when they lost 4 games in a row, which is hard to achieve, but it did happen. So we will see how will Invil be on this tournament. First match went well. They beat German Potatoes 3-0. We will see how will they deal with this GX iteration of Tropical Clown School now.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting match here between these two. We saw Invil, you know, with their usual style. They can be very, very aggressive if they want to, but they can also hold back, try and wait for the mistakes coming out from their opponents. So we'll have to see what they go for in Tropical Cyclone. Still a little bit of an unknown, I guess, with their new roster additions. And I'm not sure. I mean, I think Invil still has it, personally. If I was a betting man, I'd go for Invil again, but...
Well, we saw a lot of dark horses win yesterday, but yesterday was day 1. This is day 2. if the guys who are usual winners and usual suspects make to day 2, they actually become stronger because they already see some of the moves that the fresh young teams make, and they can know a bit more what to count on and how to counter it. So I would say Invil should be by far the favorite here, but things happen, man, and you only get what you deserve at the end of the day.
Lineups to Mojo: triple 113, triple 5 in a bat with Tropical Clown School, while Invil triple 113 and Escon could double bat and a T100. It's a very fighty lineup from Tropical though, and also a lineup that says close range is the name of the game.
Give me just a sec. Oh, okay. The Invil is defending. I was stripping their attacking. Anyways, yeah, they're defending with the light. Okay, Invil is defending with the light. Yes, I saw correct. So this is the setup that Invil chose. They don't have the, as example, some guys would take a CS63 to push and a spot like that. This is a very aggressive approach by Invil here, sending 3 113s around the corner. Very similar to what LTP did in the previous games, covered by 2 batches from the left side. But the Tropical Clown School, they are 0 Fs given, man. They're going straight for the cap. This is gonna be all-out brawl immediately, right now.
It is going to be an all-out brawl immediately right now as Panu is immediately picking up Getside with no delay whatsoever. At T100 they're pushing into E1 now. Smiley going up and over trying to focus out the low HP target, which is never there in his 113. And now the 5As coming in from the top. They're coming in hot. They're coming in and surrounding Sokar. Unlike here immediately in Invil, they thought maybe we'll take the fight. But the fight is not going their way whatsoever. Those 5As, those 113s, those DPM machines, and now Invil with their double batch out, Piotrix and Rexstar who are on reload. It's all to Sokar and Panzer Fury to make something happen here. And Sokar does pick up Fury, but he's getting chased and he's not getting away from this one as now Tropical Cyclone. Yeah, the HP is kind of even, Mojo, but you gotta say it though. Tropical Cyclone should be in the driving seat.
I think Invil is still doing okay because those batches will come up to the reload and they still have that super conk. I believe Sokar's play to survive even on this one shot was amazing so far. But will he be so lucky now against White Rock and Itox? Probably not, because he doesn't really have a cooldown and he doesn't pen his shell. Now Panzer Fury, unless those batches start doing the work, he is in a world of pain.
He is in more than a world of pain. I think he's in the world of the dead. Right now, as now Piotrix comes in from the side though, picks up the kill there on towards Itox. Good stuff, but still 3v2 Mojo, double 5A, healthy, which are not one clippable for a bad, and Panu covering. And the odds here are not looking good.
The odds are definitely in Tropical favor here because they will need to risk. I mean, Invil will have to risk a lot of HP to decap these guys. It's not gonna end up with some blind decap from another line. One guy will probably spot, one guy will probably try to shoot from the forest, from the big distance. So that would be appropriate action. And they need to avoid getting spotted by Panu in all that, because that would be the end of them. But Panu is on half HP, so technically one-on-one, Piotrix could get it.
Yeah.
I was actually expecting Rexstar to spot from this side and Piotrix to shoot maybe from another.
But then they will just go to the next side though, like, you know, then they will go and push
but then
one.
you still have that batchat on the other side.
I mean, 8 seconds left now. Panu does get spotted out in his bat. Does he get any connections? Piotrix now peeking from one side. Immediately takes the connection back. 515 to the face. Rexstar readjusting into F1. Panu now moving towards Piotrix already. Piotrix peeks, gets a nice connection towards Panu, makes Panu a one-shot. Rexstar from the side. Mojo, could be right here actually, as now Prufus is forced to chase down Piotrix, but Piotrix will take another shot, but then he should be able to get safe around the building. In the meantime, White Rock trying to play around, ring around the Rosie with with Rexstar
seriously
here.
Need to come back and chase Rexstar and not the other batchat, man, because this guy could have been killed now.
Yeah, but Rexstar here with APCR as well does get some connections. A nice shell there from Profuse from the side, securing both these bats to be in a one-shot. And yes, Invil did well here to come back and at least kill Panu, but again, 4 minutes, Mojo. It's an eternity in this kind of game.
It's a problem now because now Rexstar is dead. This is going to be a mission impossible for Piotrix, who is a potential one-shot for these guys. I mean, yeah, their alpha is 440, but it's within 25% RNG that we love so much.
I mean, Profuse could one-shot him, so...
True. Visa does have the alpha for that.
It's still a 50-50 though, like a dead 50-50.
Well, still, Piotrix will have to juggle
It is
a
so
lot
hard
of
for
luck
Piotrix.
and skill to do
He needs to
anything in
reset
this.
both of them. Like with this next clip, he needs to get a reset on White Rock, and he needs to get a reset on Profuse.
Yes, and survive.
And survive. And then do it again. And 2 more times after, probably. 10 seconds so now.
Never give up, never surrender.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Although I
Piotrix
would
here-
not place money on that.
He will spot out Profuse, though, I guess, in a second. No, he does, but Profuse immediately gets the spot back. Piotrix misses the first one. Profuse does not! And the cap hits as well, but at the same time, the kill gets close, so that means Tropical Cyclone, they're coming out hot off the start, immediately taking the Invil down.
I was expecting when the hell will first team on Murovanka actually take that very old approach and just go for the fight straight there on that corner. Right from the start. And it happened in this game against Invil, no less. So I like the spirit of Clown School, although I could say they made 1 or 2 mistakes while playing it here. Like you saw those guys on top of the hill. That didn't need to happen because they gave easy shots to Butchots to clip them. Like, they really needed to play it out a bit better in that brawl, but they still came up on top, taking out that light more or less for free immediately. It's not like a light can defend himself against a medium, and overmatching those guys on a corner because Supercon could not come to the help immediately. That was a really good play by them.
Yeah, really good play. Ketsai there to get 22 shots of damage. Never unlike, also not very much better. Stokar trying the best he could with the ults that he was given, drew them out even further, wasted a lot of time. That was good stuff there from Sokar trying to survive as long as humanly possible. But if there's no damage behind it to really compensate anymore for the mistakes from before, then I mean, it was such a hard fight for Rexar and Piotrix. And Piotrix even did really well killing Panu in that one-on-one. I don't even think Panu should be on the cap in this scenario, personally, but that's details, I guess, because if Panu just plays north side, he outspots the
devil
bot.
lays in detail, you know that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't like Panu on the cap, because he can just play the bush on the north side, outspot the bot coming towards the cap, give him one shot, go safe, and then he has an even fight.
Yeah, he should always be a weapon waiting outside, like a lurking weapon. That's how it should be played, and you keep the meat on the cap.
Indeed. But, you know, they made it work. They have 1-0 scoreline now, and it's not really a surprise, I guess, either, this Tropical Cyclone lineup. We saw them yesterday already with a heavy fighty lineup as well. I think Prokhorovka comes to mind with the 277s and the 5As against Fame. It's a singular light, so they seem to be really fancying sometimes those heavy, pushy tanks, the 5As, the 277s, obviously 5A.
It looks like they like to fight.
Yeah,
looking
5A
for a
with an
fight.
extra gun depression as well.
Well, they have Smiley in the team, so that might have to do something with it. Looking for some simplicity in a fight. That is his style a bit. We can see the pick and bans here. Himmel and Cliff are bans by Tropical Clown School, and they were their bans so far on the tournament, so they might be a default or keeping it for later. On other hand, the Ghost Town was the ban of Invil yesterday, and maybe after seeing them win Prokhorovka against Fame yesterday 2-0, they decided to bind Prokhorovka next. So that might be behind this Invil's ban. And of course, we can see the picks, Murovanka for Tropical Cyclone. So this is their pick. They have a plan what to do. They want their attack, so we will see what they plan to do on defense. And then we will watch steps, which were actually Invil's pick. So I'm actually interested to see what they want to do with that map, because it's not an easy map to play, as we already said and seen.
I'm kind of thinking about what Tropical Cyclone could do here on the defense. I don't expect them to go for a fight again on Muro. It's kind of obvious if you want to fight immediately. It's kind of hard to pull off as well.
Well, so far we've seen LTP pull it off in a previous game with those I7s, but Invil tried to fight as defender. But I don't know with that lineup with the light. I'm not sure about that. So maybe that was one of the reasons where they lost, but also the counter push by those 1-1-3s around the corner. I didn't appreciate that either.
No, I mean, I think Invil wanted to maybe surprise or expect them to split a little bit, but they didn't at all.
They were just like pummeled so much. I would say it was even a good fortune for Tropical Clown School to catch Invil so much off guard, because if the game progressed more and Invil actually had some time to retract tanks and recover, mentally and save some HP, I'm not sure how would this end. but it went really well for Tropical Clown School, and we're gonna be watching them on their defense side. So they have one IS-7, a Kranwagen, a Super Gold, so two tanks for a cooldown, plus a Vervi and STB, and they have a light also in their defense.
Yeah, both teams here deciding to pick the T100 light tank. Panu there knocks over the 3. That might be a bait, actually, more than anything else, because obviously we talked about it yesterday. Commander view, the extra zoom out. Panu knocks over the 3. Invil might realize that it's knocked over. Put a lot of blind fire there. A little bit of a bait.
Tactical. That one is tactical. I know because I was watching which one to turn off. It was too much for me.
No, tactical.
Yeah, the commander is one when you go behind, you know, and you can see a bit behind the corners, and tactical is the one that goes sky high.
I think I have them both enabled, I think.
Yeah, I disabled the other one because I just like, it's too much. I pretty much have good map vision anyways. Don't need that much info.
We'll have to see how good Invil is at blind firing, though.
Anyways, like when I saw T100 in previous game of Invil, I was expecting something like this, that they will try to keep an eye on lower side of the map and prevent the capping scenario there. But interesting Tropical Clowns School presenting to us a 430U played by Nico. I believe the first time on a tournament used today. I mean, that tank is really good close combat, but long range, it's absolute trash. Still has a lot of HP for a medium with that module.
Yeah, but what does it really gain over the 113 though?
Smaller silhouette.
But
like you have the reload and you have a smaller silhouette, so if you stick it behind that house on E1, I guess you can rotate the tank a bit more. And I think they chose it for that specific reason. Also, it has a hard turret, so if you go in some hard cooldown position, you can still fight like that. Close combat, other than that, you don't really get much, but smaller silhouette, definitely, and better mobility in that regard.
Pano here, pretty safe position. I did knock over that 3 though. The fences are also destroyed. I mean, everything that is destroyed is something that you can recognize as a player to where the light might be located. But gotta be honest here, Invil, if they wanna, if their plan is to cap on base number 2, they are wasting a lot of time not
I
clearing
think they're
bushes.
still debating what to do because I don't even see any shots coming to clear these bushes.
I mean, look at Never Under though, so that's good stuff there. Get it with the 705A actually. 705A slightly harder to kill than a Kranwagen.
A bit, just a bit. It's a good tank when you want to play some angled battles, and it has a really hard turret and high alpha. So in that regard, they chose him over i7, I guess. I still like i7 more, so maybe this 705 has some other purpose than that.
Yeah, he was used to hold the church in the beginning, but Getsai realizing that he's getting spotted out when he's going towards the cap, and they don't have that much time left already. 4 minutes and 40 seconds may seem like a lot, but they still need to kill Pano. Nice shot there on towards the side of the third of Itox though. Then it was the STB from the far back there from Invil. Good shot.
There might be coming a very risky spot by Getsai to try to clear that light.
I mean, you can kind of drive in a way actually. If you come from K line, I will even go find my crayon smudger. If you kind of come like this, right? If you kind of come like this, when you suspect somebody being on the house, you negate this as an actual angle of firing because the house is covering you most of the time, and the light spots you really late as well from here.
But it does look like they're actually planning to play the other side, because even if he spots him now, there will be no one to really shoot him to make sure he's dead. It's just like a budget. And maybe Kranwagen. That's like more than risky to leave it just at that.
Well, it's actually a 705A capping module. And the 115s, are they going to try and cross towards E1 to take down the 430U? Well, it does look to be that way. Like and Sokar, I think, are the two 115s used for this movement here. How much can Tropical Cyclone really do? Sokar gets tracked, Sokar gets held, down towards half HP already. The good stuff is that they're both alive at this point in time. Sokar, though, doesn't seem to be like that for much longer. And now Like and Sokar trying to do what they can. Nico looks like he wants to pick up the kill, but it's actually Smiley from the back. And Like here, down towards 289 HP. Burby from the STB from the different angle, and G1 picking him up, and Invil here getting battered to pieces. We'll try on taking this 430U out of the game.
Yeah, I would say like Tropical Clown School is showing us they're not here just for a show. They're actually playing it out. They haven't lost a single tank in this defensive round, and they're almost 4,000 HP ahead. Yeah, Piotrix is in a deep cooldown here behind the corner, but that's just waiting for the team of Tropical Clown School to recover their composure and counter push in one moment when they decide. 40 seconds is an eternity, and it takes only one shell to reset him.
In the meantime, you can see the ball flanking on the outside. That is the Rexar there trying to get some shots on towards White Rock. White Rock trying to retreat back into safety together with Pano. Now Piotrix is on reload. I think Smiley will make the peak here, accept the damage from the STB if there is even any. Get that reset. Ooh, he doesn't connect though. Nico doesn't connect either. He actually shoots the bat here. Rexar trying to come in strong, trying to come in shield. He's pushing Smiley. I mean, 10 seconds left here. Can Rexar get the shield? It doesn't look like it's... Oh, the reset comes out actually from Itox, but that's very, very costly. Luckily enough for Tropical here, they already had such a massive lead in Nico. I get it, man. You can pen about with HE, but shoot heat, please.
Yeah, this is something like a last scene. Like, they make initial advantage, it's such huge one, and then somehow Invil brings it really close, really close. But it's 1 minute and 46 seconds, and Invil doesn't have much to work around with. They're never Bachat rotation tank is on one shot. Ketsa in his light is on 400 HP. Most of the other guys are completely never mind. Ketsa is deleted. They're all stuck. We have Kranwagen on 300 HP. It's just not gonna work out. They need to still kill all the tanks now of Tropical Clown School. Capping will not really be an option.
No, capping does not look to be an option. Piotrix here wants to give a big shot on towards Smiley. He does not. He takes one from Smiley, then he takes the second one from Verby. And now Profus and Smiley are like, we here, 705A, you're on reload. We'll give you one, we'll give you two. Profus now realizing the 705A is a one shot. I'll just take the damage. It's okay. The STB comes in, gives him one. Profus, though, does what he's supposed to do, connects on towards the 705A, shuts him down. And yes, Panzer Fury, he's doing well. He's connecting the shots from the back lines. But with 50 seconds left, it just doesn't look like there's any way for Invil to recover in this, as now White Rock gets caught out there. Rex are missing the kill shot actually, but in the meantime, Verby looks to be killing that Kranwagen of Never. Panzer Fury, nice connection there, well aimed on towards Profus to shut him down, but still, it's 1k HP against 4k HP. He loses his buddy Never, and now Panzer Fury and Rexar, a one shot and a two shot. It's just not going to happen. Pano realizing that that one shot is a kill for him, and Panzer Fury taking the honorable kamikaze way out, making it 2-0 for Tropical Cyclone, actually putting themselves on match point here against Invil. I'm so glad that I don't bet.
It's 2-0. Like, we've seen a lot of really surprising games yesterday. This is one more now. I would say, like, the marker of these two games we've seen so far are Tropical Clown School makes a big advantage in the start, and then Invil kind of brings it close again, but they just cannot gap that distance from the start, you know, from losing too many tanks in a start.
Okay, Like and Sokar here, you can't fault them. That's a team order.
They were ordered to go down.
There is a team order. I know they only did one shot each, but like you can't expect too much from them when they literally get sent. Like, go try and kill them. Well, we'll see how it goes. Itox had to come over to decap the 705A because Smiley didn't connect his shell, so Itox was there with the the emergency reset.
It's not only Smiley, it's also Nico. Tried. Both of them actually failed, so he had to go over the ridge. And sad thing for Itox, I would say, is because as he died, then Smiley penned also.
Yeah, well, I mean,
but that's not a guaranteed one, so it has
exactly. In Itox's case, you have to get that emergency reset when there's only like a few seconds left. You don't really have a choice anymore.
Emergency reset.
Yeah, it's like usually like we have to reset, and then somebody's like, "Well, guess I gotta go."
You know, guys, when someone says emergency reset, that's usually that sentence. So for the guy doing it, that's how it goes.
Yeah, because you know what's about to happen to you when you crest that ridge against everybody.
You know, surviving and losing on cap, that's like the worst scenario ever. It's better when you lose entirely for that. So this is the moment we saw that push by Like and Sokar, who were trying to dig out Nico from here, but the crossfire coming in from Tropical Clown School showed us that they really clicked that mouse button down.
Yeah, and then Like here takes like, I think it's even a pixel from Verby, but it doesn't matter. Nico would still kill him. He would still kill him. So it's such a hard push to pull off. And I mean, it seems like Invil was a little confused by Tropical having a light tank, even though it's not uncommon, because they had no answer to the base 2 light tank of
Yeah,
Manu
they
spotting
didn't
it.
even try to contest that base at all. No blind shooting, nothing. They're playing it for number 1 all the time. I would say, like, in both of these games, like, Clan School was kind of one step ahead of Invil all the time. Even in the Brawl game in the start, they did something that surprised Invil, and Invil didn't react that well in the start. And now, when they were defending also, I think this 430U played it out really well behind his house, man. It does look like he's a harder target there than other tanks.
Well, Mojo, remind me what's their second map.
Well, my notebook says steps.
True. And who is defending first? It's very important to keep
It's gonna
that
be
into account.
Tropical Clown School. They're playing for their match point, and Invil will be attacking to stay in the match.
That's
on steps.
that's an important thing to take into account. Defense first on steps.
Yeah, it's a hard role to be, like hard place to be now where Invil is, because you need to take inferior side in account, attack on steps, and try to make it work somehow. Yesterday we've seen LTP do it on kind of original way, just pushing up on upper rails and pretty much annihilating German potatoes there. But we need to see now how will it happen within Invil and these guys. Like Tropical and Cloud School so far really ready for this tournament. As I said already, they beat AIM 3-1 and they're now 2-0 against Invil. So from the opponents, anyone had from the very start, they had like previous first and second rank in first 2 matches.
Lineup wise though, Triple I is 7, a Kran, an Eskung, a Bat, and a T100 for Invil. Tropical though, double Kran and I7, triple Eskung and a Bat. That's big and meaty.
It's really big and meaty, and this T100 leaves opening for Invil to play number 1 cap, but also having those I7s means they can play the 2 cap also. So it's really all around setup that they can go either way. They can just like decide to, depending how the defense is from Tropical Clown School, like will they pressure this and like try to clear this area here, and then pressure this with the light, with the capping, sorry, like here. Or can they just like go and pressure with I7s here into the cap, provide some cover from here and lower part, and just hope for a pro? So we'll see. At the moment, they look like they actually really want to go for that I7 number 2 cap option.
Yeah, it does look like that. As I mean, the whole team is there, so it's really hard to rotate all these I7s back if they want to, especially also the Eskung. So they are going to try and play the camp game over there, which we have to see, obviously, how does Tropical Clown School react to this. So far, Smiley there in his Kranwagen. He might get challenged by Never, but White Rock is still covering. He's going straight in though, Never. He doesn't care. Smiley's about to come off reload though. I don't think this is it, Never. This is never going to happen. I mean, you're going to probably kill Smiley, but at what cost? He was there for a reason. Now Piotrix coming to pick up the pieces, and Heat goes down immediately. Shut down and shut down.
Survives at least for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, a couple of make that 2 seconds. But the cost of this, Piotrix is down. Ketsai died in the meantime
This is
somehow.
like deja vu from the previous games, man. Again, opening when Invil loses a couple of tanks and doesn't achieve anything. And I don't think they have a potential actually to even come back now. 4,000 HP difference already, but 5 seconds. Never mind, the reset comes in, 14 seconds in. So they're keeping an eye on that while they're trying to kill. Finally, Never on lower side. There is a final brawl on upper side. Itox is brawling against 3 I7s, but he is covered by Proofus.
Yeah, he is covered by Proofus indeed, and even Banu from the backlines and that Kranwagen coming in strong. I mean, they will kill Itox, but when you lose basically 3 tanks for 1 singular Kranwagen, there's not much left to do, and Proofus there having an absolute field day in that Eskunk, landing banger after banger into the sides of Invil. And who would have thought that this would be the way that this game goes, as Invil gets absolutely handed to them, gets sent back to school as Tropical Clown School. They might as well rename back to Cyclone, because so far they're coming in as a hot storm, Mojo.
I'm just gonna say, damn! I never expected this, man.
Sheesh, dude. Yeah,
What
I don't
a
know, man.
wipe. 3-0. I didn't see it coming. I'm so happy there are no predictions on this tournament. I don't think I will hit a single game correct, man. Like, seriously.
That was something, dude. That was something. That was definitely something. I mean,
That was something different. And I wouldn't call it a fluke. These guys just played it well, man, and Invil didn't.
the cohesion between Piotrix and Never was non-existent, by the way. It's like they've been married for 30 years, and I mean they're still kind of together, but you know what I'm saying. Like Never YOLOs it around the corner, and Piotrix is like, you know what? If I'll go to what could possibly be covering the singular Kranwagen? Oh wait, an Eskon and a Batchad. Oh well. Anyway, unlucky.
Well, luckily for Invil, this is not the end of the tournament for them. Yes, they lost in a really, really freaking bad way here, 3-0.
I don't know, dude. Last time they lost 3-0 in a tournament, they also lost the finals.
Oh, wow.
Wait, was it 3-0? I don't remember. Maybe it was 3-1.
Anyways, this was the upper bracket final, guys. So that's meant the guys who didn't lose a game yet. So that means who loses here, he goes to the lower bracket, and they will be playing Fame, as far as I remember, for the last game in the loser bracket and to get the finalists on the tournament. So we pretty much have our duo for the next match.
Yeah, we do have our duo for the next match. Tropical Cyclone will be sitting back and waiting for those teams to duke it out to see who gets to rematch against them. Because obviously Tropical already beat Fame and Tropical just beat Invil. So yeah, I mean this
two supposedly hardest opponents losing to Tropical Clown School. Let's repeat it again. Clown School. So 3-1 against Fame, 3-0 against Invil. Unbloody real. Congratulations.
Yeah, good stuff there. I mean,
everything is correct here, man. I wouldn't even call it some superb actions. It's just like Invil is suicide.
Invil is literally handing them this win on a platter. They're like, take 3 of our tanks. We don't need them. We will win 7v4, I guess.
And that's how we play 3 games in a row.
And every game 1 on Muro, they lose T100 for free, basically 2 113s for free.
Yeah.
Game number 2 on Muro, they lose double 113 basically for free. Game number 3 on Steps, they lose an T100, a Bant, and basically a Kranwagen for free.
Unreal. Well, this is how the things are. And you get what you deserve at the end, and they deserve to go to lower bracket and try to juke it out with Fame for a final spot in a real final. So we will see how will that go. But if they keep this kind of mentality in place, this is heated up, man. They need to cool off. They seriously need to cool off.
Who would you favor in a... It's always the eternal question. Who do you favor coming into a lower brackets finals, which this is? The team that just played, or the team that had a match break? Like the team that's already warmed up, or the team that got to sit back and watch?
Frankly, if it was a huge break, I would favor a team who just played. But after losing 3-0 in such a speed fashion, absolutely Fame.
So
Fame had a really short break, so they're still like in their prime. They just, had some time to chill and watch this and say, "Oh, what are you guys doing?"
All right, Mojo. So you're going with Fame for the mental edge there. But I'd like to hear what our analysts would have to say about what just happened.
Man, at least, I'm not the only one that it's happening to. But yeah, damn, we do have a lot to say because the Tropical Clowns, they just schooled Invil. Holy moly. 3-0 in quick succession, and never at any point in time during the matches did you think Invil was going to win anything. Now, we do have the tournament bracket coming up, and Svit, tell us what's going on.
So we just saw the match 6, Tropical Clown School against Invil, and the next match is number 7, and it's Fame against Invil with the lower bracket finals. And the winner of that match is going to challenge the Tropical Clown School in the grand finals. Yeah, this game was something special. We saw 5 Ace again, and we saw 4-3 for the first time.
Yeah.
What do you think about that pick?
I mean, the position that the 430U was in, I guess we're going to see the replay soon where we can actually see what the 430 was used to. But basically, the position that it was in, it makes more sense to take the 430U, simply because it's that little bit quicker, and also keep in mind the 430U, it's a medium tank. It has such gigantic camo. That's not something that you normally associate with a 430U, but it does have, I think, camo values in between a Leo 1 and a Batchat, so pretty good, and I believe the replays are ready, and we're about to see what the 430U does.
Also, it has improved sort for mobility, so turbo works better for it. That's not for the heavies.
That on top, yeah. Keep in mind, guys, the improved turbo, so the purple turbo, has been given out after the ranked season, but it's not yet available in this tournament, simply because we wanted the teams to didn't have to use a piece of equipment 2 days after it comes out. But yeah, here we see Nico in the 430U getting pushed by the double 113, and the double 113, oh my god, they're bleeding so heavily for this, and the 430U, well, it basically has the same DPM as a 113 with the same alpha. Well, it's basically the same gun with different soft stats. But yeah, you see Nico now, he can side scrape behind the house, he can use the bushes and everything, he can try to get resets onto Piotrix, which he does fail, I believe, and Smiley, this is where you think it gets dicey for TCS. But then, you know, the Kranwagen comes from the top, resets, and then you take a look at the HP.
Yeah, the advantage of Tropical is so big that even a Kranwagen dying basically for free just for the one reset is still not enough for Invil to even have a chance to come back from this. And you see White Rock being basically full HP, and Vervi being full HP in the background, and Profus and Smiley being almost full as well. So there is no real way how Invil can punish it, because they lost the life and they weren't able to do anything. Now we are seeing the questionable push from Never onto Smiley, and Piotrix dying there as well. I don't know what was that. That was well, they obviously play at the other side, so there is no one here, so we can just push, and there were tanks covering.
Yeah, I don't know, that push, it was I mean, what were they thinking at this point? Were they just mentally broken from the 2 games before that one and just said, yeah, let's forfeit this one, we have the second life, so to speak, in the lower bracket finals. Anyway, it was just entirely weird to watch, and I mean, well played obviously to TCS, but they just took the mistakes that Invil made and they just capitalized on them. It was Invil giving this game away more than Tropical gaining it. It sounds weird to say, but yeah.
Yeah, because with the 8 minutes you have on the steps, you kinda have to do a decisive play, because you might run out of time if you don't. And with the triple IS-7 Invil had, they basically have only one play, and the only one play is playing the cap. And usually you just push the 9-0 line and you clean that, so your cap is free, and there is the team from the north going from the outside and eliciting. That's like the usual meta if you push that cap. But the cover on the 9-0 was so good from Tropical that both of the tanks, the Kranwagen and the Batchat, died there for almost free. And the IS-7 were just, well, we have to push from the cap because we died on the other side and Tropical was ready for it.
Yeah, and now for the upcoming match, the lower bracket final in between Invil and Fame, both of them losing to the same team in the upper bracket, Tropical Clown School. Normally you would say, hey, this could be an upper bracket final or a grand final of a tournament. Now both of them meet in the lower bracket, and yeah, all the names are there. Invil, the Polish powerhouse, Fame, the old guard. I mean, normally you would say, you know, great grand final we have coming up, but now they meet here, and I would like to pick up on the point that Daki and Mojo raised. Which one of those teams do you think is mentally in the better state right now?
I think I always prefer to take a break, because you can reflect on the mistakes you made, you can prepare the strats you have, you can take a break to get some food or something like this. And for most players that I played with, this is the better option. Like, yes, you kinda get an rolling advantage if you just play and play and play, but that has to run out somehow. And if you just get slapped 3-0 within like 35 minutes, the advantage is not really there. If it was LTP that was coming from the lower bracket, and they are winning like 3 rounds in a row, of course it works for them, but Nivelle getting slapped like this, I don't think it's an advantage.
Yeah. Also, what you mentioned is like continuing to play, but it feels like Invil didn't really start playing. So in the end, I don't think they got into the tournament shape, tournament form at which you start winning games. It just looked incohesive. Like the calls weren't there. It was tanks just dying for free left, right, and center. And like your tactics might be good and all, but well, if the tanks just die and the enemy team takes almost no damage for that, well then that's when you get. That's when you start to get ruffle stomp. My goodness. However, yeah, for the upcoming match, I think we couldn't have a more exciting lower bracket finals. We'll head over to the casters and see what they think about it.
Keyhand, believe it or not, I managed to not mute my microphone this time. So like, everything's looking good. It's not looking good for one of these teams though, because one of them is gonna go out of the tournament.
Well, whoop, whoop, we're back in business. I mean, this kind of 3-0 brought us back to time schedule with that tiebreaker combined, time-wise. So we are half of the tournament. Fame will be facing Invil in finals, but not in a finals of the tournament, but finals of a lower loser bracket. We can see the Invil lineup here. We've seen them in previous 3 games. Didn't end up so well for them. I did like how some of them played it from time to time, but those were individual plays after they already pretty much collapsed as a team. So I don't know, it didn't matter if soccer really runs away with 1-1-3 or someone moves back and does good cover shots with Bachat and does damage and this or that and pens every shell. It just doesn't matter when your team doesn't function as one when it's time.
I would say though that I think Fame handles a different play style than Tropical Cyclone, to be honest, because you can see Tropical Cyclone, a lot of their games are also straight to the face of their opponent. I don't think, at least in 77, you see Fame regularly go for that immediate brawl.
Well, Fame did get spanked by Tropical Clown School, so we need to see what will they change in their approach toward them if they pass Invil. So that's a different mentality for sure, but it did cost Fame yesterday quite a lot. The lineup we know very well. Insane, the former captain of Oops, also the Gold League team. Guys who played, as we said, multiple times. We had from Ding, Shokish, and Ilian, Kaizu from Go Hard, and Duck of Death. Where did he play? In which of the Gold Teams? In Oops also, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those are the guys that carry some experience from there.
You're forgetting Rishek? What are you?
Never.
Are you shorting my boy Rishek here? Where was he from?
The hell if I now remember.
Wasn't he in Out of Range?
Yes.
That was the Polish team.
That was a Polish team.
I think.
Yes.
If my memory is on point.
Well, you have your memory correct.
Thank you.
Better than my notebook.
So happy. I remember some stuff. Okay, map. No more for Intel. Not really a surprise. Goes down the permaban from Fame this whole tournament. You touched on it earlier. And Himmelsdorf as a first map and Cliff as a second map.
Yeah, I guess like we are now enveloping of some of the maps that been saved for the later part of the tournament. Interesting is like both of the teams actually opted here for brawl maps, Himmel and Cliff. So you have some limited amount of tactics here, but more or less you have a vision on your opponent like 90% of time, unless you lose a spot on 8 line on Himmelsdorf, and you go and fight. Pretty much what Invil likes for sure, and I don't think Fame is shy of that either.
No, they are not indeed. Himmels will be probably slower, but Cliff is... Himmels could also be faster. I've seen Invil push straight through the courtyard on their defense. I mean, I wouldn't take it away from them to do something like this. It is possible.
Well, we will see. Like they had a couple of minutes to chill while the captains were picking and banning the maps and selecting the tanks that will be played and things like that. So they did have a little time to cool off. Will that actually, I don't know, will they actually show in complete change of playstyle and tactics? Not so sure. Really not so sure about that. Definitely whatever they planned, because probably both of them thought they will meet in finals or in finals of winner bracket in some moments. Whatever they had saved for that moment, it's gonna have to come out now. There's no other way around it. That Muravanka was a disaster, and steps were even worse for Invil. So whatever tactics they were thinking to save, and they maybe thought it's gonna be way easier to deal with Tropical Clown School than it was, they're gonna have to pull them out and show us what they're made of here.
Yeah, there's no point holding anything back. I mean, you lose your route, so whatever you have ready is what you need to play now. I wouldn't see too. I don't think we'll see too many changes from Fame, though. They're not the kind of team. They like running the same thing, but not fully the same.
Insane usually just rotates the tactics, not the tanks. Like, they usually keep the same tanks and they just rotate what they play with them, because there are several options what to do. It also has to do with time to prepare the tournament, because like in Gold League, people used to endlessly prepare a lot. And time to prepare a tournament of this size is not so huge. It's usually measured in days, not in weeks.
Yeah, it does. It does indeed depend on the preparation of these teams. Now, Mojo, prediction. I haven't done them in a while.
Well, I did say I think Fame can come up on top here. I really do.
I wonder who I would pick,
because they were stable today, and you know, they didn't jump to conclusions. They played their game, and they didn't get triggered by opponent and so on. But I would say for sure, Inwil had a trickier opponent today. I mean, who would say when this tournament started that this iteration of Tropical will meet two supposedly strongest teams on European server, Fame and Inwil, and just beat them? And not beat them, but beat the hell out of them.
Yeah, they really got a good spanking there.
Like, seriously, if anyone would put money on that, he would be very rich now.
True indeed. Lineups though: W100, a 50B, triple 115, and a CS for Invil, actually, and Fame coming out with the 50B, the IS4, the 277, the triple S1, and the E3. We saw this from them before.
Fame is defending with this E3, so that's a standard thing. I mean, this is something they can just push one to line and keep an E3 in the back if they don't want to change with it. On the other hand, Invil does have a really, I don't know, this is also a standard setup. You can go left and right. They do not want to play hill probably with it instantly, but we will see. W100 usually means you stay down.
The IS4 is not actually playing at A6 though. There's a small adjustment. The last time it was the IS4 at A6, Mojo, if you remember. This time there's an ESCOM going there.
Why do you think is such a change?
Maybe because Invil does not have a TD or something to put on the hill, and the IS4 can go behind the hull down with a lot of armor.
Yeah, there you go. He's on G3 now. So IS4 actually took that position, and he's proxying toward the 8th line immediately. While the rest of the Fame guys are covering him from the distance. Now when he actually progressed there and he's spotting Feli, Kaizu and Ilian are progressing. Feli actually taking a shell here that probably came down from 113 or even a CS on the hill, I'm not sure.
I think it was the 113, but I'm not sure. Could have been the CS indeed as well. Like
113 or G6 maybe through the windows, or CS. I don't think anyone else could have taken a shot on him.
So some damage being dealt here in the beginning. One shot onto his Rishek, one shot onto his Feely. Rexar takes one in return. Do you think spotting out the IS4 makes a difference here for Invil? Ilian takes one in his E100. Invil's gonna push the K-line, Mojo. They're going to push the K-line. At least it looks like this right now. They could still back off from it though.
Is Fame actually even in position to support the Super Kong down?
I think so. I think they will.
They have one Kong in the field, but the other guys are kind of in the middle of the rotation. Ilian, like on 1700 HP, that's kind of early.
So 115's look towards Ilian. Whoa, that was a slight shot there. You could see it for half a second. Rexar, they had an angle.
They're going to try to break all of these wagons so they can actually make them work and maybe lower his HP. But Rishek is closing in now, so he can provide additional support if there is an actual push. So there are two and not only one guy here. Now the position for Rishek can be here, but he can also be on the right side behind this little house, which can be quite annoying to kill either.
I'm trying to see if Ilian destroyed the wagons, and it doesn't look like it to me. The oil tankers, obviously, and World of Tanks, if you shoot a train, a wagon, anything that has like a large surface, like those, I don't know, oil trucks, the actual train, if you shoot it, you can spot through it. It no longer counts. But I don't think he did it. And he's not using his gun really to spot either. No, he did not destroy the oil tankers. Slight mistake.
I don't think he's spotting anything at the moment, to be honest.
No,
he's relying on other people to do it.
Normally you would shoot the oil tanker, right? The one that's covering Like and Panzer Fury, and then you would spot with your gun, you know, by turning it to the side. But now, E100's marching on. In the meantime, we have an enclosure on the IS-4, if you want to call it like that. Now, Like and Panzer Fury here have to play against Alien and Rishek, but that's a big, meaty E100 that's pushing on towards Alien. He gets a nice connection as well. That big Alpha coming in. Alien now in trouble, getting focused out in the 2v1. Rishek not currently in a position where he can really help his friend, and that E100, it can bounce shots, Mojo, as we just saw Rishek do in the 277 as well. And Invil up 3000 HP already here. Now Alien getting shot from behind. Rishek not really able to help. Insane goes down to the CS and the 50B, and a strong start for Invil.
It's a really strong start, considering the E3 is just now arriving in position to even help his teammates, and Super Kong, Duck of Death, is not even close. So we already have Insane down and Ilian on 700 HP. Now finally Shokish in his E3 can cover the side of Ilian, and Rishek and Kaizo are covering the other side. So this is a correct time for Invil now to actually start rotating other ways and maybe deal with Super Kong. Ilian falls finally to Never on this side, and there we go. There is a pressure coming on Duck of Death now. CS63 is there. And I'm wondering what will the 113 on G6 do finally.
Well, we can see that the 113 on G6 is now moving towards the 8 line. Rexar and Never coming to support Feli is now enclosing through the D line to put some pressure on towards that 50B of Piotrix, but he wants to kill Ketsai first. Feli in the meantime takes another one from Piotrix there. Needs to be careful in his 50B. Feli now takes another one. Piotrix on reload. Can Feli pick up that 50B? It would be very important, but Fame still down in HP, down in guns as well, and now you can see the enclosure. The 113 has pushed up on the 8 line. He wants to take out Duck of Death there in that S-Kunk, and Feli actually on the retreat, and Feli gets picked up as well. This movement was not, it looked okay for a second, but he just goes down for free, and Duck of Death is now without friends, without support. He's going to be the next one. And Invil still with 7 tanks left standing in this round, Mojo. They have not lost a single one, as Rishek is the next one to fall. At least Kaizu and Shokish as the lone survivors for Fame.
This is a complete another phase of Invil, which we haven't seen in previous games. They are actually calculated, they're thinking before they push, they're not just blindly taking the bite to the enemy. So this is something that I expected to see in a previous game against Tropical. But never mind. Not too late, I guess, to show up. Shokish and Kaiser are the last 2 guys surviving for Fame. That's not gonna last long. They're surrounded and without any option to do any impact on this game. 7-0, and that was a really great victory for Invil in their attack on Himmelsdorf.
It looks like Invil shaked off the defeat against Tropical Clown School rather fast, as they come here on Himmelsdorf and are able to put the hurt on Fame immediately. 7-0, wiping them the floor. Some bad trades there from Fame, some lack of spotting as well, I guess, on Alien's part.
I also think they were just too dispersed. Like, too dispersed all over the place, you know, like they had a T3 and Supercon completely out of the fight. Invil actually realized that. They pressured the weakest point, the lower spot where Alien was. There was not enough cover to do damage on those E100s while crossing, and there was definitely not enough to cover the IS-4 where Insane was. By the time that E3 actually came back, the Super Kong, blah blah blah, 2 tanks are already gone.
Piotrix there in his 50B, good damage, 4k. I mean, Ketsai as well, Panzer Fury, all hitting above 3k, but the damage very evenly spread, nobody really standing out.
The main thing is consequence. It's a consequence of a really good team movement. Like all of this damage that came. And the lack of damage on
there was this two-pronged attack that we didn't see the second part of it, but the second part was on towards the IS-4, who really had no support whatsoever. There was the CS and the 50B picking up Insane, while we saw Alien and Rishek fight against the W100.
Yep. This is a game that Fame deserved to lose by far. There is nothing to do about that anymore. We will see how will they recover on their attack side, or can they recover? Like what Invil has in store for them in that role. Also, we cannot disregard, even if Invil takes 2-0 lead, like on previous tournaments, that never ended well for them. So let's see how it goes now. Like, this is the moment that we're seeing. Like, watch the minimap parallel also, guys. Like, watch the moment on IS4. Like, you have E100s driving and penning their shells on lower side, but you also have, look at this, people behind these buildings shooting the IS4 here for free, more or less. When I say for free, yes, they're trading with him, but that's 2 guys on 1. And while that is going on, the Superconk is still driving, the E3 is still driving, and they're not part of the game.
Well, at this point, Invil's already up 2 tanks, they're already up positions as well, and that E3, it's really nice and all, but, you know, did a decent amount of damage, but it doesn't matter if it's all in the end game, and the game is already has already been decided.
Well, Fame played the standard against Invil, and I guess they didn't even rotate on time. It costed them. That's about it.
It costed them a whole round, and now they are 1-0 down against Invil, and Invil is going to be rotating over to the defensive side of Himmelsdorf. Again, this is still best of 5, so that means that if Invil picks up the next one, it's match point, Mojo.
Yep. But as we said, if they pick it up, shoulda, woulda, coulda, even then, you cannot disregard a team like Fame. Even then.
Lineup wise, so Mojo, a 60 TP, 4 1 to teens, and a 50B for the side of Invil. Fame with a double 1 to teen, 50B, W100, 277, and a ban.
Haven't seen that 60 TP since the HE nerf. Let's see how Invil will use it, and it's played by like. So we will see how they try to position him and use him. A very mobile setup beside the 60 TP, but even the 60 TP is more mobile than E3, I guess.
Yeah, it also depends if they want to use the 60 TP for that role or for something else.
That's what I mean. Like, we saw people even use it on 8 line before. Now it's questionable, like, do they want to pressure the enemy from the very start? It does look like that, actually. They want to pressure Fame from the very start and lock them up in a brawl from the very start of the game. Bachet is spotting the 8 line for Fame, so they can see if there is a rotation toward the 8 line, toward the hill or anything. But only thing that he can spot is maybe enemy. This is a pure trap Rexar, and never are here covering the 60 TP, who is way slower. Insane taking 1 shell immediately. But there is not certainty in Invil team. They do not know how many of Fame tanks are here.
Fame here might catch these Invil tanks completely unaware, and I don't think Insane's about to stop here. He does take 1, he does take 2. Light coming out, gonna give a big one as well. Drops Insane towards the 1-shot, but here comes the rest of the team. Here comes Fame coming in, the 277 over the hill, about the 50. He just pushing in, Light trying to shield his teammates, trying to do what he can, and Invil is still rushing in. They're still trying to get back in position. You can see a little bit of a confusion there between the Invil tanks of what to do. What do we do now? They indeed were missing the spot on the 8 line, and like at 60 TP, I mean, it's big, it's heavy, it's got a lot of HP, but as you can see, he is down and out immediately, and this leaves 4 tanks left standing for Invil, and Fame just casually strolling down the 8 line, finding not 1, not 2, but 3 freebies.
Well, you know how the song goes. Oh, we're in trouble. Something's come along and it's burst our bubble. That's exactly what happened to Invil here. Like, they burst their bubble with this attempt of pressure and trap, but Fame took none of it. They just went in YOLO full, pretty much full squad in, and annihilated them.
I guess Fame was maybe kind of aware that it was either a 1-2 pressure or an 8 line pressure, because they didn't stop down the 8 line at any given point.
There is a chance that Fame just opted to play a shorter game and pressure that cap immediately without wasting time, because they didn't pressure heal at all. They kept it focused, and it brought results.
Well, it's not going to be 7-0 for Fame, as the captain did go down with, well, not with the ship this time, because it's still floating. Panzer Fury is the last one left standing here. Ilian and Rishak, the Polish comrades, helping each other out. Beautiful stuff. And yeah, Mojo, that is a very fast attacking win for Fame. Gotta keep that in mind.
Yeah, the game was like a really good response to what Invil did to them in initial game. Invil tried to play their kind of standard surprise threat to try to get them into the role from the very start, but it didn't work out. I don't think Invil even expected that Fame would do that kind of pressure to the 8 line immediately, because you saw they never spotted it correctly. Like, they saw Insane in one moment, and they probably knew something is up by then, but it was too late. Fame was already like light cavalry, full attack, all in already.
Yeah, maybe if Invil had more of a spot on the 8 line, Mojo, then it would be able...
Would it save those 3 things?
I mean, maybe not save those 3 things.
Like the way the Fame played it that fast, they would actually have to be really close, somewhere down the D line already to be able to help. Not on the bottom side of the map as they were. Like they would have to be really close. Like when I'm saying really close, they would have to be 2-3 squares away.
I mean, maybe if you're infill, you can jump into the D line though when they're driving down the 8 line. I mean, just thinking off the top of my head.
Teleport.
I mean, you know, they were already kind of at that corner. You let Fame drive by and then you run away. But even then, they would lose the camp position, so it would not be such a great scenario.
Like whatever happens when you have 2 groups of tanks so far split away like this, if you encounter a significant push on either of the sides, it goes the same if they were pushed from the other side by Fame, like this. It's automatic loss. You just lose number of guns. And as we can see on minimap now, like even the fastest tanks on Invil, like 50Bs, are not even close to fire a shell, and the tanks are already dying. That spells loss, always.
Yeah, I mean, and the Invil tanks are trying to do what they can, but it doesn't really matter when there's like 6 of them surrounding you. And at this point, it's game over. I mean, it's always game over.
It's pretty much when the first shell was fired there, when they saw them around the corner, that was already game over. Nothing but some blow-ups would save them.
I mean, it's possible, you know? Triple blow-up in a row?
Yeah, that's like godlike RNG required.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, they don't play in Ice Force for that.
Maybe they should bring more of them. Well, that is Himmel's over. It was, I would say that the Himmel's games were slightly faster than I expected. But that means that we are going to Cliff.
Yep, we are in a good scenario for us in audience because it's a 1-1. The match is very undecided after the first map. A decisive victory for each of the teams in their respective attacks. I would say the Fame's attack ended a bit early, so if it comes to tiebreaker, I guess they would probably have the big side unless the Cliff is not like, I don't know, instant brawl and one of those games that end under 2 minutes. So Cliff will be watching Invil on their defense and Fame on attack. On this map, it usually doesn't really matter that much.
Indeed, and now Cliff coming in. We'll see by the lineups what kind of game we can expect as well. That is a very important part. Fame, triple CS, an STB, double 277, and a Kran. Invil, Kran, triple CS, double 277, and a bot.
Well, 3 CSs on both sides. Fame playing the STB, they like that. Butt shot on Invil side, we saw a lot of butt shots for rotations, seriously no TVP. And Kranwagen on each side, very similar lineup by both. Like difference is only like butt shot versus STB, Shockish on STB against Piotrix in butt shot. That's it.
Middle fight, Mojo? What do you think?
Well, it always ends one way or another on middle fight. Like, will they split before that? That's what we need to see. So at the moment, yeah, Invil is splitting to 2-pronged attacks, 3 guys going for the middle, 4 from the lower side. We cannot see the Fame at the moment. If they send everyone down, it's still not gonna be decided. It's pretty much similar.
It's very similar here, actually, except for Kaiser and the Kran is sitting behind, so that's one tank really a little bit out of the fight here for the side of Fame, but in return, they're already getting like down towards low HP in his CS, and these 277s, they realize what their job is. Alien, though, in this 277, I don't know if that was worth it. Now driving up and over, Panzer Fury clips him out. You could have maybe negated the bots a little more, but so far so good for Fame here. Shockish does not have a loader, though. That is actually important in the STB. Duck is not getting focused out by that bot shot. And he goes down. Now the Kranwagen should be coming back in with the CS from the lower side. The fight's all over. Shockish is going to be the next target here on the chopping board. Rishek just close out on Piotrix, but Shockish now trying to go forward, trying to get out. But yet again, those heavy tanks from Famesol has so much HP available now. Ketsai trying to get his clip out as well. Shockish finally goes down in that STB. But Kaiser now coming back in. Ketsai on reload. Ketsai is going to be down and out in a second as well. And this fight that was all over the place now seems to be stabilizing ever so much in the favor of Fame. as now Never is forced to run away. Panzer Fury and Sokar, I don't really think they can beat a Kranwagen at this. Yes, as Feli is going to pick up Never. That leaves 2 tanks left standing for Invil, Panzer Fury, and Sokar. And there's Brawl Mojo. It was a really fast game, even faster than Himmelsurf, I think.
It was a fun thing to watch, that's for sure. Here, Panzer Fury, the last guy surviving for a couple of seconds as Master Exploder Ducky wrapped here. This didn't end well for Invil. Yes, it was a brawl, but we could see from the very start of the game, Fame actually had 7 guys in a fight there. Even with that Kranwagen, he did the first clip and then approached, and the Kranwagen from Invil was never in a fight until already a couple of tanks were lost. So HP, armor, cooldown, shells, all of that was missing for them.
I'm trying to remember the full Invil lineup before I make a...
It was identical.
Not so smart. Yeah, so Invil had triple CS as well. I think the difference is though that the CS from Fame was behind that rock on the lower corner, and when you play from south on a cliff, it's easier to get initial damage on the tanks going up than from north, right? Just because of the way that the map
almost
works.
balanced it out.
Yeah, I don't think that was the word.
But look, Kaiser did 3.6 in his crown.
He hit very well, dude. Very well.
And you can see the crown from the other side. He did that
Rishek also,
only after he came.
Rishek was a CS in G1, so like that big difference there behind the rock, got some free shots. The Invil CSs were kind of trapped behind that rock, so they were able to focus fire better than Invil, right? Because they have those 2 CSs which are kind of isolated.
Yep.
I think that was Lyke and Rexer actually, and they both managed to do 1 shot each.
It's really, really details, but Invil rather lost those 2 CSs super early. They kind of almost returned it back with killing Ilian, but it's just not enough.
I don't think
when the game
do you think
settled
Ilian's
at that
move
moment,
was necessary?
Maybe it was not needed, and he can be prone to some harsh movements from time to time. We know that on tournaments, but this case it really didn't matter, because if you watch the map, you can see the Kranwagen from Invil is still on D5 doing absolutely nothing.
I don't know if this was worth it for both Insane and Ilian, because Panzer Fury and Sokar are going to shoot anyways, and if you keep them on the lower side, Rishek even has easier shots on them, to be honest. I don't know. I mean, it's details, like you said. Because they were always ahead in this fight, and even like Invil got a little lucky with Shokish being without a loader here.
I really think they wanted to force a fight while the Ketsai doesn't come in his crown. I think they were going. I think they were just going for the overmatch and the bloody battle because they had good positions anyways, and they had a gun more, and they knew it, and they were just forcing it all the time. Just a brutal exchange. If you pen your shells, you will always win.
Imagine if Shokish doesn't have a dead loader there as well, though.
Yeah, that would be insane.
It is a big detail on an STB to have those extra seconds of reload because you lose your loader, especially when you're supposed to be the one DPMing.
Well, this game didn't end well for Invil, and it was even, I'm not sure, was it shorter than the previous one? It could be shorter, because it ended within 4 minutes, no, 2 minutes, right?
2 minutes.
Oh, under 2 minutes actually.
Just like my average random battle.
Wow. Well, that was like really fast. Now we have a Fame in a driving seat, so they are 2-1 up toward Invil, and Fame will be defending for their match point. So if they win the next round, it will be 3-1, and they will be playing the final against Tropical Clown School. But Invil does have this game to try to bring this game to the tiebreaker and maybe Prokropka.
Well, lineup-wise, Mojo, we have triple 277, triple CS, and a TVP for Invil, while Fame is rocking the Kran, the double 277, the triple CS, and the TVP this time. No.
Are they
FTD.
reading each other's minds, like bringing TVP immediately in the second game, and now Kaizu is on Kran? We've seen that played before, but on Invil side, way more aggressive setup with 3 277s. So slightly more aggressive on their side. Like it looks like they want to go all in again.
I don't know if Fame is really. I don't think they're going in for the fight here, Mojo.
No, like when they have the Kran, that's a hold. They want to try to put Kaizu on that hill and hold.
Well, I think Insane actually blocked Feli's shot on towards that CS. Unlucky.
Shokish is on D4 position. We've seen it used many times. Rexar takes a little bit of damage while he's climbing up, but there is a lot of damage done on Rishek and Duck of Death. Will it be worth it for them? They're gonna get clipped in the backs, and there is not really much damage coming back. Now they are taking the hill. Even a nice shot on Ilian's Cupola there by Rexar. So now Fame does control the hill, but is it enough? Because they bled a lot of damage for that.
I mean, they do have the position though, Mojo. Kaizu there needs to be careful. He's getting overpeaked by Ketsai. I mean, that's a brave peak from Ketsai, I gotta say.
Never is coming from the lower
Invil's
side.
going for it.
There you go.
They're going for it. They want to take out Kaizu here. They're coming over. Ketsai, Panzer Fury. Ketsai takes all the damage. Can Kaizu at least get his clip out? Or is he going to die before? No, Ketsai comes in with the ram now. Duck of Dead from the top of the hill. Trying to put in the hurt. Get it with Reshek. They're making this work so far. They are starting to do the damage here. Invil trying to get back out of the middle now. They're kind of caught in between a crossfire from every single side. Now Invil is using this momentum that they have right now to send Rexstar, to send Piotrix on the hill. But Reshek and Duck of Dead are doing so much already before this even comes into effect, together with the Shockish Crossfire. Nice shot again from Rexstar. Gotta say it, coming in strong there. And now the HP is up for Fame. The positions, you could say that Invil has taken back some of them.
This was a really risky gambit by Invil, but it actually paid off. The HP is almost the same, and like, it doesn't matter. Whatever they managed to do to Fame before that, they may lost a bit, but now they're actually controlling the upper side of the map, and they're starting to farm on those CSs on Duck of Death and Reshek. Never is shooting them whenever he fades, so they're never in a really safe and comfy spot. Piotrix and Rexstar are holding the hill. Now we need to see what will the rotation be from the lower tanks. Ooh, the jump is coming in!
Ooh, Reshek loses his loader though, but he's fighting against Rexstar here. Rexstar getting into safety. I think even Piotrix in the meantime picks up Duck of Dead. Invil here wants to reclaim the hill. In the meantime, they're pressuring the 5 line. They want to take out Elian as well, because he's the 277 behind that corner. But we see the fight on the hill here. Rexstar actually bounces. Reshek is still dropping off though. And if he's going to die for this, it's going to be very important. No, he's stuck on a ledge. Reshek is okay, but Elian goes down in the meantime. HP still completely even, but 6 guns against a mere 4 for the side of Fame as Sokar. Now wants to kill Elian.
Reshek is more or less out of the game.
Yeah, you feel he can get a full clip here onto Sokar. That'd be very important. But the big ram coming in from Sokar. Can Feely gets his extra shots? No, he cannot. Now it's 6v3.
Now we have Reshek on 10 HP, stuck on that ledge, pretty much alone without help. Insane on full HP, and I believe Invil will not really chase him unless they get a numerical advantage. Shockish is on one shot, and he is going around.
It's not a one shot for a TVP though. Not a one shot for a TVP.
True that.
I mean, if he can clear the hill here, Mojo. I mean, he might get a shot from the CS on the crossing, though. There's a CS at D5.
Oh, Insane
Does
is doing a
Shockish
good
get spotted?
move.
Oh, Shockish does get spotted. No, he does like high rolls! High rolls it! 406! Picks it up.
Cameraman!
There was like in the CS there from D5, holding the angle on the crossing, managing to pick up the CS from Shockish with a slide high roll.
Even if he didn't high roll him, he would warn him on time. Now Insane is in good position, and Sokar and Panzer Fury didn't expect that. But now without CS on that ledge, Insane is pretty much a sitting duck. Here he will get shot to pieces from the hill. He has to pick out. He does pick up Sokar here, so that's good. But man, he's on 94 HP stuck there. There you go. And that leaves Reshek alone on 10 HP. And yeah, we are definitely gonna see a tiebreaker here.
We are indeed going to be seeing a tiebreaker, and I think Fame gets to pick the side as now Rexstar comes over and picks up Reshek. Invil is going to be making it 2-2, all even, into a tiebreaker.
Yeah, definitely Fame will pick a side. We've seen by far faster attacks on Himmel and Cliff both than this. So we will see what will happen. What will they pick? It's Prokhorovka. I mean, they have no reason to pick attack. They seriously have no reason whatsoever to pick attack. So my guess is they will just take defense, and it's just a question how will they defend. Last time when they played against Tropical Clown School, if you remember, they spread themselves along the rail. We will see what will they do now. Barely doing 3k damage there, but as we said, it doesn't really matter. That bold attack by Invil was something to see.
Rexstar did very well there, actually.
Rexstar did amazing
big shots.
Like
even when he went on the hill,
doing damage on Fame while Fame was taking the positions. It didn't look that dangerous, but that counter push down, which looked suicidal in a moment. It literally looked suicidal, just as a kind of distraction to take the hill control back. Surviving with enough HP so they can actually pressure the Fame tanks more. Amazing. Really great game by Invil. Good comeback in a game.
Good comeback into the game indeed, making it a tiebreaker. Fame picking defense Mojo on Prokhorovka.
Yeah, as we expected. So we will see what will they change in their plays. As I said last time when they played against Tropical Clown School, they were a lot spread apart. They couldn't help each other that well, but never mind. Let's look at this crucial moment of the push. Look at Soccer and Like pushing from lower side. Kensai taking all the shots for his team, but
maybe
it doesn't matter. That was his role.
Yeah, and here now the crossfire is coming in, right? But I think Insane makes a misplay here, by the way. Like, if you look at the minimap now, he's coming to the 5 line with his 277, and then he goes back towards 1-2 line. I think if he goes straight 1-2 line there, they kill Never much faster.
They probably thought, when he was driving their Ducky, they probably thought they might actually continue. And they were trying to avoid scenario where he's doing nothing all the time. But then actually, Invil stopped and played it really smart, and there was nothing Fame could do anymore. Like, all-out aggression, really good brawls, like really good plays, but Invil in a driving seat.
Rishak dropping off here though, I think you want to almost trade to the death at that point. I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, he survives, but this the issue is with like previous cliffs or different cliffs is that from here you cannot really anymore get up, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, he was stuck.
and then Feli here, he gets only to do 2 out of his 4 shells because of the good ram from Sokar.
But that won't change a thing. The biggest change in that moment was when Shokish died, as you said.
Yeah,
Spotted
I mean
by
it's
CS.
that's unlucky for Shokish, I gotta say, a little bit, because he is indeed
Maybe
No.
unlucky for him, but still Invil left someone to watch that. So they were cautious of it. So that was also good play from them. So we already know that Fame picked the defense guys on Prokhorovka. So it's tiebreaker 2-2 between these two. And whoever wins the next game stays in a tournament and plays in the grand finals against Tropical Clown School. So these guys are battling it all out. And we can just like sit back and enjoy.
Well, Mojo, we are going into Prokhorovka for the tiebreaker between Fame and Invil in the lower bracket finals, not the upper bracket finals, as some people may be expecting. Lineup-wise, I'm very curious to see what Fame will bring. We saw them indeed once defending over the rails, but Tropical Cyclone had no issues with that, if you remember.
No. That was a really good play by them then. We will see what will Fame change in their defense now. Because I'm pretty sure they're not gonna try to do the same. It's not like on Mines where you just like missed one spot, you know? Like there was a lot of faults in that defense. Double CS they had that last time. Double
The
S
5As?
I think
Same
the
lineup.
setup was the same.
Yeah, the setup is indeed the same. And Invil, I7, S-Kong, 5A times 2, and CS times 3.
Very similar setup. There is a difference that Invil has like one I7 instead of one Super Conk and one more CS63, but they do need to attack, so they will need more rotations, that's for sure.
This time around though, Fame not going middle, Mojo. Last time we saw them go middle with way more tanks, if I remember. And it was only the CSs going hill. This time around they are deciding to send the 5As over the rails, but they already get spotted out by Like in the CS actually.
This is actually almost the same opening that Fame had before. Super Kongs went here, and other guys are along the rails, so they can control. Interesting.
I mean, I think the double CS will struggle to push the hill here though.
Should not be able to. They really should not be able to, especially since you already have the 3 VZs here.
Ooh, is Fame going to go take the fight in the middle? It does look like that, Mojo. The 5As, they're closing up. The S-Kungs are now peeking up and over as well. Kaizu, Insane, Elian, Chokish, and Feli. They're gonna make it work. They're gonna have to make it work. Duck of Death is now starting to join the middle. The S-Kungs are starting to make their overpeaks into the middle. Where is the Invil support? Where are the covering fire? Because the 5As, they're just going up and over. Ketsa is gonna be the first one focused together with Insane, who's Amrak. Don't think we'll see him shoot in this game anymore. He goes down towards a one-shot. Ketsa is still alive, and Fame here kind of getting caught in between a crossfire of all the Invil tanks, but they need to start picking up their own. Piltrix now trying to help Panzer Fury here in that S-Kong. He gets flanked by Kaizu, and those 5As are being used as a battering ram, trying to shut down the door. But so far, it is not looking like this door is about to be broken in here from the side of Invil, as Kaizu and Elian Shokish, they're all in so much crossfire from every single side. Invil's having a field day. Piltrix yet still alive, and now finally they pick him up, but the cost of this seems maybe too great, Mojo. Yes, they have 5 tanks left standing, but Invil has 3,000 more health points to play with.
Invil also has one more thing. They have decent positions in the crossfire. Oh dear, do not get blocked. Please, not now. I'm gonna riot. Shokish is on one shot. Ilian has a broken Amorek. They have nowhere to run away from, and Invil has a lot to do with them. I really hope it's only me blocked and not the game itself.
Nah, bro. I ain't seeing nothing either.
Oh!
Oh, wait, we're back, dude.
Okay,
We're back. Okay, that leaves us now with Sokar, Like, and Rexar. Okay, like, we just adjust. Well, Fame has Ilian, Duck, and Rishek. Duck is a one-shot. Ilian's a two-shot. And then we have the CS of Rishek, who's 716 HP. If the HP mod is correct, Like is full HP, so they're 4,454 HP down still. This is still disastrous for Fame because Rexar is full HP as well, and Like has plenty of it. So what does Fame do?
They can't play against Like here, and Like cannot go on Rishek. So it revolves around the guys on other side, like IS7, who can just sit there and then hold those two guys, and other CS who is doing exactly what he should. He's rotating. He's going to probably join Like and try to catch Rishek. Like Fame is doing something about it. As you can see, Ilian, who actually had a broken Amorek and survived all that time, he will try to provide some cover. Rishek is trying to make some distance and run away because he knows that position is by far the worst. And Fame can only hope. The only hope they have now to stay in the tournament is that Invil does a hasty move and they lose a tank while trying to cross from some position A to B. That's the only hope they have. IS7 and CS63 closed in. They're pressuring toward the center. I don't think they can get out of that. There is already a connection coming on Rishek.
Rishek takes one big shell already from the side, and now Like together with Rexar are starting to close the distance here. I think Ilian might be spotted out, or Duck. No, it's Duck actually, because otherwise he would have gone on the hill. Now in the meantime, we can see Like coming in his full HP CS. He's going to get out of his speedy mode. He's going to pick up Rishek in the CS while Rexar picks up Duck off dead, and that will leave just Ilian left standing as he takes one. He will take another here. Rexar trying to look for the angle. Does he get it? Does he get the shot in between the buildings? It doesn't look like it just yet. No, he doesn't connect, so it will be Sokar. Should be Sokar at least to close out this game and to make it 3-2 as we can see some furious pinging on the minimap. Sokar? No, it's Rexar to pick it up, and that makes it 3-2 for the side of Invil, moving forward into the upper bracket again to face off against the opponent. Tropical Clown School.
You got it now. Man, who would expect this? I don't think I would guess a single match today who won or with the result or yesterday when we read it, but it doesn't matter. Invil deserved to win this in a cliff game that was like a proper cliffhanger. They were down, they took a risk, they jumped toward an enemy, and they played better and they won. On this game also, Fame jumped on them. They actually did a brutal crossfire and they managed to prevail and win. What a moment to drop the stream, man. Like, I don't know what to say about that. Sorry guys, we're very sorry about that, but thankful to quick reaction from our admins. At least we saw ending on one of their screens. 4,000 damage died, but never here. Sokar also significant damage, more than 3k in his i7. Sokar played heavy tanks very consistent and well during the tournament, I can say that.
Good stuff from Invil. Deserving the win there at the end of the day and picking it up. But this was not the last hurdle for them. They have
to face Tropical guys again, to which they just lost 3-0 like an hour ago. So we will see how that happen. But there you go. This is 3 guys in the center, Super Conk and 2 VZs getting pushed by 5 Fame guys. One CS stayed on the hill to cover, and the other CS also joined. Guys, so we technically had 6 guys of Fame here jumping in this little hole here, and they were sniped by 2 CSs. You can see from the Rail Forest and IS7. Insane was deleted immediately. He didn't land a single shell while at it. So I guess that also had something to do with it a bit.
Yeah, and there's no pressure on the guy in the hill in the meantime. I feel like Rishek is just driving around at this point. Like, I honestly feel like Rishek is just like not really doing anything in the CS because he was coming back towards the middle. Now he's back on towards the hill. I mean, not like it would really change, but maybe if he... I mean, he can't really go for the 1v1 either. His Like is covering him. I don't know. They would have to have amazing shots.
All right. So apparently it was a drop of a signal we had because, we are streaming with a clean feed with Minsk, and the signal is back. So it should be fine now for the next games. Sorry about that again, guys. It should not happen again. But at the moment, we still have the victor, Invil, proceeding to the final. As we said, they deserved it. At the crucial moments, they played better than Fame. And that's it. You get what you deserve.
Get what you deserve. Indeed, Mojo. At the end of the day, there's so much we can say about this match, but we already need to start looking towards the next one, obviously. And I don't know, this was a close and good game, but I'm worried if Invil play exactly the same way as they did against Tropical Clown School. I wish they would change their name again. Then we'll have to see how that goes. But for now, that's enough from me and the guy next to me, Mojo. And let's hear what our analysts have to say, actually.
And hello everyone, managed to unmute just in time here, and welcome back to the analyst's desk. And I think, Svitman, we just saw a cracker of a game here in the lower brackets finals.
Yeah, the game was back and forth. Both teams were winning their defenses, their attacks. Not actually defenses, everybody won on attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apart from... Yeah, everybody won on attack.
Only
actually.
attacking wins. And people, I don't know why people keep saying, maps are defense-sided.
Yeah, the Himmels were very interesting, very tactical. Invil just strategically outplayed Fame. They got themselves into a bad position, and Invil capitalized on it. And then Fame just took the victory by storm, where they just got caught Invil with their pants down. And then we saw Cliff, which was basically the same, where Fame just took Invil off guard, and then in the fourth game, Invil just took the victory strategically. And then in the fifth game, Fame just got themselves caught in the pants down.
Yep, indeed. It was a back and forth. And last time, I think Invil didn't convert their match points against Fame. This time, it was Fame not converting their match points. So, comebacks now from both of those in the respective tournaments. Good stuff all around. And you gotta say, whenever Invil and Fame are playing games on Cliff, I love watching those. It's always neck and neck. It's always full out aggression by both teams, and it's just always a treat to watch. We're gonna bring up the replays of this match shortly. But yeah, before we do that, it's gonna be the grand final. It's gonna be Tropical Clown School against Invil, and we already had this match once today, and it was pretty short.
Yeah, it was a little bit one-sided, but as we talked before, where the effect of playing multiple games in a row, where it's beneficial and where it's not, they just wanted the tiebreaker. So, and it wasn't 10 hours match, it was just 1 hour. So I think it's very good for Invil. And now we are seeing the replays, and this is the first game from Himmels where Fame just got themselves into a position they couldn't really keep. Just because Invil has the Meteor E100s that are able to just out-trade Tishek and Ilian in their 277 and Super Conk respectively, while Piotrix are killing Insane almost for free, because their Shockage with his E3 or the other Conk are not able to cover Insane properly.
Yeah, I think this is one of the games where, you overthink. I think the problem here for Fame is that their tanks are so split, and everyone, I'm not negating it, every single tank by Fame probably had a purpose when the game started, but then Invil does something, I guess, unexpected, pushing K-Line with double Yehundo, and suddenly everything starts falling apart here for Fame. It's just the IS-4 falls because he's not being properly covered, then the Super Conk at K1 also gets picked up, and at that point in time, yeah, the HP, they might still be okay, but, well, with 2 guns down, you just cannot win a game like this. And here, that was just, Fame putting the eggs into the 8-line basket, and it completely working out because Invil is completely split here. They are not expecting the aggression, and then yeah, Insane does fall because of some nice focus fire by Never here in the end, but it's the same story, right? Invil is down 3 tanks, and yeah, the HP are not even close.
Yeah, the 60 TP is kind of a weird pick, because if you pick a tank that's unconventional like that, you expect it to do something special. And it might be like a platform a window where you just take over the courtyard control and then you slowly push for the 2 cap, or just hold it so you can capture 1 cap, maybe. So maybe Fame was like, oh, Invil has 60 TP, it has to do something special, and we just going to deny that special position where the 60 TP is probably good, very good at, and we just going to take the 2 cap. And unfortunately caught Invil off guard. It was good read by Fame, but yeah, Invil just didn't have a chance. And now we are seeing the first clip game where Ilian did a questionable move, maybe. But in the end, it didn't really matter, as every single tank from Fame was ready for the fight. Kaizu is now reloading after the, I think this was 2 out of 3 on the cross, while Kitsai is still on still out of the fight for the full reload, so that didn't really help. And then it's just slightly better crossfire from Fame and slightly better positions from Fame that got them the victory.
Yep. Also, it was very interesting to see the battle results of this game. Basically, the CSs, which are the high DPM tanks for Invil, those got focused out first by Fame, and the heavy tanks, I mean, they do have meaty punches with their 490 Alpha, but they got focused out second. So just getting rid of that DPM in the end was what also helped Fame win the game. However, yeah, at this point then, Fame is putting themselves up on a match point in this best of 5 here. They're up 2-1, and then that is exactly where things are starting to turn sour here. I mean, yeah, we see them finishing off now. Rishek, a game is over. And now the problems start with this super aggressive overpush. And first when they started this, I thought they can never sustain the crossfire that's going to come onto them with the double CS here pounding down upon them. But the problem is, you see in the 1 cap there was 1 tank entirely out of action. Insane with the 277, unable to contribute here. And yeah, the CSs are putting on the hurt on the 277s as we speak, but the hill is being retaken, and it's so important that Piotrix makes it up here with only taking 1 shot. And at this point, Shockish, he cannot really leave. Insane, yeah, he's trying to chase the CS, but yeah. And also that Rexar has more HP here than Rishek is crucial in winning Invil the hill.
Yeah, and also Feli with his DVP wasn't really on the usual like D5 position where you can easily cover the jump over by Invil. He was down on B5, where the 277s were mostly hold down against him. So that's like second tank away from the fight, while Invil has only the E2 or E3 CS that's kinda out of the fight, but not really. So it was very one-sided in the end. And now we are seeing the overpush, where Fame was probably hoping that there are like 2 or 3 tanks on the hill. That's usually used because the IS-7 is like sent down the 0 line after you establish the hill. So that was one of the tactics Fame might have been expecting. So they went for the overpush, but everybody is ready for him. Like only the CS from the hill that still has shots on the super gongs that are still lingering on like the E6 positions. So even the CS on the hill has shots, so it's like 7 tanks just farming entire team of 5.
Yeah, and while it might look good initially that you basically have 5 tanks firing on 2 or 3 by Invil, in the end the amount of guns that's in the fight is vastly superior for Invil here, and also the effectivity, because that CS in the back there, for example Rexar, he can just calmly sit there, chill and aim his shots, and that tank with the high base DPM, rather lowish alpha in comparison to the other tanks here, that just enables him to just spread his DPM and pick up kill shots where needed. So yeah, good stuff here by Invil, receiving that push by Fame well, and yeah, unfortunately for Fame, we have to say goodbye to them now, and we are gonna get the rematch of the upper bracket finals. It's gonna be Tropical Clown School against Invil, and keep in mind guys, because this is the grand finals, we're not gonna have a best of 5, not even best of 6, we're whopping it up to a best of 7 here, and you can see both teams on screen right now. TCS under their leader Vervi, with what used to be the leader of Raid is Smiley, and on the other side we got the Polish guys coming in with their team captain Ketsai, and yeah, I mean by now all the names should be known.
Yeah, so what's your prediction, Key?
To be honest, in the if I had set or bet channel points on both of those teams in the upper bracket finals, I would have lost 2 out of 3 times, I guess. So yeah, okay, let's say it like this: if we see the Invil that played against Tropical Clown School before, then we're gonna see a convincing Tropical win. However, if we see the Invil that was playing against Fame, sharp, aggressive, reactions on point, then I think it might be a close game, probably with a better outcome for Invil. What about you?
I'm believing in Tropical Clown School. They are just rolling over everybody this tournament in the playoff stage, so I believe, let's say 4-2 for Tropical.
All right. With that being said, let's see what the casters are saying about this one.
I didn't say anything yet so far, Kihan. Literally nothing. I muted on one place. Okay, one place. Okay, only one. Right? We're getting there. One day I will get it without issues. I promise. Anyways, Mojo, I'm gonna continue on what Kihan and Suman said. Prediction.
With this level of play, I would say Invil. Like if they cooled off and saw how they pretty much buried themselves 3 games in a row against Tropical. Like if they play their normal calm, I would say them. The only issue here is because Call Me Piotr is like coaching Clown School, and he can actually, snitch on them and their tactics. That could be a problem. That could actually be a problem. Also, I'm gonna mention one more thing. Like in this tournament, we never mentioned it before, but the prize pool, guys, is for a first place you have 2,000 euros. For second, you have 1,000, and for the third, where Fame just ended up, no euros. You just get gold and bonds. Of course, the first and second also get gold and bonds, like 250k gold and 50k bonds for first, 125k gold and 40k bonds, but you respect that money even more. So Fame is out of the money pool, and Invil and Tropical are fighting it out for a significant difference in reward now. Plus, to prove who is like the top god in the game. Or 7-7 at least.
7v7 at least, Mojo. Still reigning champions in 15v15.
You have one more month.
Who says I'm going to play? Anyways,
are you one of those? Wait. Are you one of those guys you win one time and you run away instantly after?
I said it. I said after the last tournament, I'm retiring. I'm going out on a high note, Mojo. It's not being afraid. It's just making.
It's like my store, 100% win rate in Russia, right?
Exactly. So Maple, Moro banned by Invil, no surprise, and Himmelsterf by Tropical, no surprise, I guess. Then Mines coming out, then Steps, then Ghost Town being banned by Invil, then Proco, and then Cliff Tiebreaker. Obviously, we want to remind everybody that in the grand finals of the WoT7, it is a best of 7, no longer a best of 5, which no longer means.
I would also like to know, how did Kihan think that best of 6 would be played? Do you have any idea on that, Lucky? He mentioned it in one moment. I was like,
Kihan's brain. Kihan's brain works in mysterious. Actually, no. I said that it works. That was my first mistake. Kihan's brain it's there, Mojo. Right? Let's just put it like this. Okay. We don't question his ways.
Anyways, in best of 7, guys, we have Mines that was a pick of Invil, and we had 2 maps then consecutively that were picked by Tropical Clown School that were Steps and Prokhorovka. So a bit less chances that you can ban, and then it's done the separate tiebreaker kind of pick and ban, and it was Prokhorovka. So Prokhorovka would be a potential tiebreaker match, as we just saw it now also. So Mines, what can we expect there? Tropical did play it once against Fame, as far as I remember. That was 1-1, as far as I remember.
It was 1-1. There was
one
game on Mines where there was one game on Mines where Tropical tried to push the hill in defense, and Fame just drove on it with 113s. Absolutely made short work of that strat. And then the other game was Fame on defense, where they didn't properly spot 1-2 lines, so Tropical casually drove triple 113 down it.
Yeah. So that was the mines that we saw from them. Did they play it later today? No, they only of these maps that are played, they play steps. They played steps and they played it against Invil in that game where Invil pretty much suicided the last game they played for the 3-0. So we saw how that looked. I don't expect to see the same from Invil in this game. That's why I'm a bit rooting for them. Also, that was in Tropical's pick actually. So I guess they have some different ideas. Anyways.
We'll have to see what ideas they bring on our first round of mines, actually. But the lineups, Tropical has a triple E5, T100 a CS, a double 113, and Invil has 5 113s, a 50B, and an ESCOM. Your E5, don't laugh at it yet. DPM, nutty.
I'm not laughing, but that kind of like cupola hatch is a big problem for E5. I'm really actually looking forward to see how will they plan to
it
use it.
doesn't have a cupola.
E5 hatch.
Who's attacking again, Mojo?
Who's attacking Invilis? They're defending with those E5s.
So they're defending with those E5s. I'm thinking if their cupola works for the middle, but as far as I remember, the E5 cupola is on the right side, so even if you peek the hull down, the cupola is completely open.
I don't see a good point on brawling out in the middle with E5s.
I mean DPM, Mojo. Even if DPM of the E5, it also has nice HP, by the way. If you bring turbo HP rammer, I use that in randoms actually as well. It's kind of nice. And close range, you don't really need to stab. So if let's say the E5 cupola, it's big, it's weak, but if you trade one shot for shot and you actually hit your shots, it doesn't matter.
If you trade for shot, if everything is dandy and perfect in the world, if the enemy doesn't pen their shots on E5, which is next to impossible, yeah, I mean, maybe they will surprise me. But they also have a T100, don't forget that.
Mojo, let's just put it like this. If they win with E5s, I feel like you should wear a special bow tie next time.
Oh, the one with pink piggies? Okay, that's a deal.
Alright. I love tricking people into this kind of stuff.
But we still didn't agree what will you do.
You already agreed that you're going to do it, so I don't feel like I really don't feel like I still have to put something.
There cannot be just this without this. There has to be a balance in the universe.
That's not what I said. I said
has to be balance in the
I
universe,
said
bro.
that if the E5s win, you gotta wear a bow tie, a special one, and you said yes. Where exactly was the part where I said I will do something in return? I'm missing this. I'm missing this part. I don't think this was ever part of the negotiations, nor part of the contract before you gave your verbal agreement.
Okay, I'm putting an amendment on a contract. What's happening if they don't?
I don't know. I'll have to think about it. It's
not for you to think. It's for us to think.
I'm open for suggestions. Let's put it that way. But
I'm gonna just say, hat will not do.
What the hell?
It has to be way more.
What do you mean it has to be way more?
Hat is not enough.
Well, I'm only making you wear a bow tie, dude.
With piggies. And it's pink.
Yeah, and? You have something against piggies? What is wrong with pink?
Anyways, 3 E5s on Tropical Clown School for the new meta of the century versus Invil playing way standard super aggressive 5 113s, 1 conk, and the 50B. And everyone is going up on a hill to juke it out, so let's see how that goes.
Well, they are going up in DT100 and CS there, going on the hill, already taken, and now Invil coming fully in the middle, and so will Tropical. Mojo, you still sure about those 113s?
Jesus H. Christ, let's see how it goes. Pansfury and Kietzai a little bit better. Never is losing a lot of HP getting deleted here, man.
Never's losing a lot more than just his HP. He loses his whole tanks and now his E5s. I mean, yeah, sure, penetrate the cupola, but the DPM coming out is pretty strong. Nico is now down towards the 2-shot, but in return, Vexar gets permatrack, gets held, and these E5s, the American heavy tank is coming in strong as Tropical is absolutely butchering the boys of Invil here so far. I mean, yes, the HP is close. Gotta keep into account that the 50B is currently on reload still. He's going to come off it in 14 seconds. That's 2,300 HP that is not in the fight. And I think Piotrik's there fluking a shot as well. And now here comes the turnaround. Once more into the breach with the E5s, Panzer Fury and Katsai, nice HP, but it's not really going to matter as White Rock wants to take out Piotrix, and he will do so as well. And now Panzer Fury and Katsai, the last two remaining Invel tanks, and I can't wait to see Mojo rock that beautiful biggie bow tie next time. It's going to be beautiful, Mojo. It's going to be so beautiful.
Damn! America, man. What can you say about this?
You see the difference there, Mojo?
Okay. No, frankly, I'm gonna happily wait for seeing this. This is so freaking refreshing, man. I like it.
Invel tried to do what Fame did, remember? Where you just drive up at the 113s? I think the difference there is that the E5 is fast enough to shoot the 113 going on the hill.
It has some cooldown also. 113s had really big problem to deal with them, actually. That first 113.
Unlucky.
They never didn't have a good game, man. Never didn't have a good game. Look at Profus, man, 3.2k in E5. I didn't think I'll see E5 played like ever in a century again.
I mean,
amazing.
It's not really a pen issue here for the side of Invel so far. I mean, Katsai 8 out of 8, Panzer Fury at 988. One of those might even be like a snapshot when they're trying to take the hill.
But they deleted the first thing immediately, man. They had absolute control of the hill from the very start, from the get-go.
Yeah. That CS and T100 they're putting on a shot, and then all the E5s actually fast enough as well.
Than any 113. T100 meta also proved, man. Jeez. I like this game. This was fun. Who would say?
I mean,
okay, Invel knew that this will happen, but they certainly didn't expect to end like this. Well, that was the attack of Invel. It just didn't happen.
To calm down our excitement, this was still the defensive round of
Invel will be playing their defense now, but let's see this magnificent moment when Never is getting deleted.
Yeah, and then I think doesn't go much better for him. Gets tracked there, and then I think the next 113 just gets perma-tracked fully again. I mean, Piotrix here is not having a good time, you know? Like, he's just around it, and then Vexer gets tracked. I mean, the E5 doesn't have that much less HP than the 113, though. And then, I mean, at this point, it's already over. I'm pretty sure the E5's had turbo.
It was pretty much over when they deleted Never, I would say. They were already there in for the brawl. They don't have the auto reloaders, so, like, there is nothing to wait. They just pump damage all the time and use their HP. Look. Never lost control of the hill. Never.
Yeah, I mean, and the HP seems close, but like, STB has so much of it.
Congratulations.
Good stuff there. Good stuff there from Tropical, coming in strong, coming in with the win on their defensive side. But like I was saying, Mojo, I don't think you heard me, because I may have been muted on TeamSpeak, is that it was still their defensive side, though. So we were like, we have to temper our excitement because of that. Because defense is expected to win, I think. Lineups, though, for Invel, it's a triple I7, triple S-Conk, and a 200. Tropical, 500 teams, and S-Conk and a CS, Mojo.
Yeah, it's a very defensive setup by Invel. From what we've seen, people use standard. Only difference is like having one Super Conk less and one IS-7 more. We're gonna see how will they utilize that one IS-7. Super aggressive, straightforward lineup from Tropical. There is not much A's and B's about that. I-113s, one Super Conk and one CS. I mean, they might even just go down from the hill and straight brawl. But that would be a suicide.
Can Sokar cross towards the island here, though? Is a big question. We saw Fame do it already, but I feel like all of the tanks here from Tropical might just be waiting for that. And that leaves 129 kind of open, no? Didn't you say so?
Yeah, but like, who is there to spot him?
The CS on the hill. The CS on the hill.
You think he can? He has the range
yes,
for that?
Shokish was the one also spotting the crossing.
Yeah. I guess Sokar stays there where he is.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They need more than one tank to push 1, 2 though. Oh, big shell down towards Sokar. Because if you count like the double I7 can shoot, Sokar can shoot, the Esker from the base can shoot, that's already 4 tanks. And you can see here that Spano just taking a shot of damage that is actually on purpose. He is not just badly peeking. He is making it so his Escon can cross without taking 2 shots, maximum of 1, and then 1 from the T100. Rufus here needs to be a little careful though. But he gets up and only taking 1 shot. So Panu there taking a little bit of damage, helping out his teammate. Good stuff.
Hey, plan B coming in for Invil. Rexer immediately running away, going for a proxy below the hill, joining his compatriot in Super Kong. So like he's going for the proxy on the right side and Rexer from the left. He's never running away also. Oh,
yeah, Mojo, do you think?
100 is quite alone.
Mojo, do you think that Rufus will take over the spot now, right? To spot Sokar crossing, and then they will send White Rock back towards 1-2, and they use the 115 and the CS to push down to make sure they win 1-2 line. Yeah,
that should be it. I guess like Invil is preparing for that moment to maybe even, but they can't push the hill, man, no matter what. This is actually not a good situation for Invil at the moment.
I would agree with this.
Like with this amount of tanks on the hill, they certainly cannot counter push them. That's like 4 113s, 4 113s and the Super Kong. Like you need a significantly more higher number of tanks to actually pull it off.
And we can see White Rock is now starting to move towards 1-2 line as well, Mojo, and I think the issue here is now it's only Piotrix really and Sokar that can give a shot on the crossing. Obviously Ketsai as well, but that's not enough.
It's not even remotely enough. Also, like you have 2 Super Conquerors in the back, so that means even by the time they get in a position to push the hill, it's still gonna be 5-on-5, man. Plus, when they push the T100, technically they can just like keep one guy shooting T100 and another guy pumping them in the back, which is a scenario we've already seen happen. So at the moment, although Tropical is in the attack seat, they're actually ahead. Smiley taking a shot of damage already with 400. Ooh. Like that was a bit of a careless way he took in there. He's losing half of the HP.
Ketsai had a really interesting spot.
Yeah. CS is not joining at all.
I mean, T100, it's small, but he could win this 1v1.
Here, he can fade and endlessly harass Smiley.
Although, I think the CS can maybe cross unspotted now, though. Or at least unscathed.
Frankly, I think for them it would be a best version that CS just takes like full speed on one line and crosses and go all the way to K1.
I think the CS is crossing right now.
To dish out that T100. But he was spotted too early. Oh, he already used the repair. If he gets track, he's getting stuck. Smiley is pushing on T100 now. There is no connection on him by Ketsai. So there is connection on Smiley though. He loses the commander and he repairs the 500 HP left on him. That's not really good because he actually can be finished off by Ketsai. Ketsai ending up with 700 HP now. One shot, will he have reload and will he be able to finish off? Yes, he actually picks him up. So this is a good trade. This is a good trade.
But the Sokar crossing, I don't know, Mojo. I don't know about the Sokar crossing. They realize they have to do something, but Sokar, yeah, I know. Even the White Rock doesn't connect immediately. 2 more connections coming from below. Look at Never. Look at Never, Mojo. White Rock does pick up Sokar, though. Why he should have stayed at the rock? Because look at Never. Never was actually on a good flank.
I7 is now crossing, trying to deal with that CX-63, but already we have a situation where Tropical is 1 step ahead and Itox drops down. Really smart to have a crossfire with him. So now that I7 is in a dip, semi-safe there, but he's between 113 and CS. And all the time while that's going on, Invil pretty much has all the rest of the tanks stuck.
If Sokar waits for Never there, they could probably crossfire the CS. I think.
I don't know why did this I7 try to cross there. Like Sokar usually play those tanks really well. He could have stopped at K2 behind the rock. It could be a decent position for him and he will have some kind of hold on to play against CS. CS doesn't have a really hard threat.
In the meantime though, we can see Itox moving on towards the island. Profus is now in a lot more of a free position as the I7 of Sokar is obviously no longer there. White Rock trying to put in some shots onto the tanks under the hill. 2 minutes, Mojo. It's important to take this into account.
Yeah, there has to be a definite, really aggressive push coming in from Tropical now.
Oh, but look at the 3 line. They're sending in another 113 Verbi to counter out the IS-7 of Never. Good shot there from Pano as well. Takes one in return from Piotrix, covering from the back. Now Vervi is starting to put on the damage on towards Never. And there comes another shot. That's now Itox pushing on towards that IS-7 to make sure that he dies, to make sure that he gets out of this game. We're not seeing that right now, but we can see the HP of Never just drop ever so slightly, and now Invil realizes that they have to make a move. They have no more options available. But this hill repush, we've seen it time and time again gets butchered, and now it's not going to go any better.
This is
It's
a death sentence.
not going to go better.
It's a march of the elephants, and there is no good ending on there, man. There's just a graveyard waiting for them. Rexar is pushing over like he's deleted. Piotrix is taking shots from the side and from the back. Together finds Fury. No connection yet, but there we go. A remedy is there. They're trying to cross over another side because the time is still running out. You can see Rexar is running away on his 100 HP. But man, oh man, Tropical Clown School has a lot of tanks in pursuit.
Yeah, they have 6 of them still outstanding to pick up the remaining tanks here. The only thing I would fault Tropical on maybe is the fact that the CS didn't cross with the IS-7 straight, I would guess. But I guess one of the reasons why they did is because they didn't want to give the T100 an opportunity to drop off and go onto the island. But still, outside of that, good stuff. Good stuff.
Unreal what we've seen here, like 2-0 for Tropical Clown School after beginning of the match. Again, not something I expected. They keep correcting me, and I guess at the moment Sweetman is really right, sticking to them. We'll see is Invil actually able to come back from this. It always looks like Tropical is bringing something into their A game to trigger Invil into wrong reactions constantly. Oh.
Yeah, Rex are not having a lot of fun there. It is IS-7.
No. That was a good game by Tropical, by all means.
Yeah, good rotations. I mean, rotating the CS off the hill, like making sure that they have the spot on Sokar trying to cross, making sure they have the correct amount in the middle to control the hill, making sure that they have the correct amount ready to shoot the crossing, and then crossing 1-2 line, taking out the T100. But then I think Infil really had an opportunity maybe to come back because Ketsai 1v1, not 1v1, 2v1, and killed Smiley. I think
yes.
if
Never, the I7 didn't die,
Sokar, yeah, if he just waits for Never.
Yeah, if he didn't die there so easily, this could have been completely different game, because then it's questionable would actually Tropical have enough means to finish this game. Because
then you have Never coming from behind, and I don't know if the CS can sit fully safe from both angles. Because Never was crossing the water at the same time, so like Sokar's move was so weird.
If you're wondering, guys, why did the rest of the Invil team choose to push the hill? Well, technically, if they didn't,
it's lost.
Tropical still had time to put 3 tanks on the cap if needed, and there was no one in their team to deal with it. So if they sent someone to deal with it, they would just die anyways. So they decided to pretty much cut their misery and go to the next game. And attempt something. So 2-0 for Tropical Clown School. Amazing.
Not match point. Remembering, it's best
not
of
a match
7.
Point. It's best of 7. So they need 4 games. Still, amazing start for these guys. And there we go. This is a moment where Daki was saying the Ketsai actually doing really good work, and a number of Smiley. So good damage coming in from the other tanks around, connecting on Smiley from top, and Ketsai penning both of his shots.
White should shield Smiley here, by the way. Like, I mean, they won the round, but you can still fault them for errors that shouldn't happen at this level, right?
Yeah, he tried here, but it was too late.
It was too late. Smiley could have lived for this.
There we go. That was a path that.
Yeah, look at Never. Look at Never now.
Really
look at Never now. Do you see? He's also crossing the water.
Yes.
I mean, he would take one shot from Itox probably, but then they can probably crossfire the CS and kill him.
But even
then
if
they have a chance.
Even if Never was really late or whatever, like Sokar crossing there alone, getting shot to pieces like this was just insane. He could have stayed there and maybe traded with CS 1-on-1, man. Like, it's still I7 gun against the turret of CS63. Like, come on, man.
Well, Mojo, we're straight into the next one here. It is 5-1 to teens, a Kran and a Ba for Tropical, while Invil has triple 113, double Esco, CS, and a T100 for steps.
Invil is defending with his setup, guys, so they have a light for their defense, And then we have Tropical for attack. They have 5 113s, really aggressive setup with 1 Crown and Bacha. I think I'm correct. I think I know who. Yeah, Inwil is defending with the light tank. Pretty much similar, something to what we've seen they do on Morovanka also. So there you go, there is a full push again like they did on Morovanka. If you remember, they pushed with everyone on one side, light actually scouting ahead of everyone, followed by this CS, and they're not splitting whatsoever. Ooh, Ketsai immediately losing half of HP. We don't see it.
What is Infield doing this time around? Like in Ketsai? What are you doing? This never works. This has never worked at all. And now, hey, you want to give them to me for free? -2 for Invil. And now Never is in no man's land, trying to humpity-dumpity drive across the open. He's gonna go humpity-dumpity back into the garage here in a second, as he's trying to get safe, but I don't think he will. And even if he does, he's a one-shot as now Verwi is coming around the corner to pick it up. Smiley might even do it himself. No, Verwi, I mean, he's Dutch, so he's not gonna connect that most of the time, but Prufus in return does with an Amorak explosion as well. And now Invil, with 4 tanks left standing, and it's story and story again. Invil losing tanks left, right, and center for free.
Did they put a bet out that they can play without 2 tanks against Tropical Clown School, so they're just throwing them in a start or something? Like, I don't get it, man. This starts to be similar to the match we've seen, which they lost 3-0. Like,
And we said that they weren't on match point yet in the previous game, but this time around...
Be after this one.
After this one, they will surely be, as now...
I mean, Tropical guys are not prone to throwing games away for nothing. We've seen that in a tournament so far.
Invil is... They can... I mean, they can literally just put the bat on the cap and the game is over. He will solo cap it. Who's gonna go back and reset? The Escon? What's he gonna do? Drive all the way back? Against triple 113 and F0?
Oh boy.
Also, if Itox goes in on the outside in the crown at some point, he will also end the game.
Yeah, the Bachat is going on a cap. They took the safe version of it. There is a rotation by Invil guys. They're sending like Super Conk and 113 back, but that doesn't matter. As soon as the Tropical guys realize that the guys are not in numbers here, they're just gonna push with everything they have and kill them.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the crown.
Bachat is not even capping. Actually, he goes behind. He wants to take the bush to snipe them in their asses.
And if he spots from there, any tank on the lower side, they will just straight push him. Like they will press W and drive at him.
I don't know, should I call these amazing games by Tropical or just like,
no,
what the hell are you doing?
This move is nonsense from Invil. Even if Tropical you can always punish this zero line crossing. By the way, always. But now Itox is speaking in the crown, and what are they gonna do? I mean, they can try and snipe his cupola. He hits 2 out of 3. The 113 is spotted chasing the Batshot. Whiterock did take a lot of damage there. He's down towards the 2-shot, but now I think you can see the rest of the Tropical tanks, they are turning into a Cyclone, actually. They're not clowns anymore, as now Piotrix will get discovered in the zero line, but I don't think it really matters, as the rest of the tanks from Tropical are coming to clean house here, as Sokar goes down. Panzer Fury will follow him, and Piotrix will not last much longer, as Invil is giving so many freebies to Tropical. It's looking like it's Christmas.
There is a small resistance in the corner by Piotrix. He is waiting for his turn to get killed in this game. That didn't look nice at all for them. Rexar is on the other side, just, I don't know, joining the ranks.
Joining the graveyard of Invil tanks that have now been decimated. And I mean, it's match point for Tropical.
Bro, ay caramba. I'm gonna just say that. Ay caramba. 3-0 for Tropical and match point for them already. Where is Invil here?
Where is the Invil that played against Fame? Like, I don't want to be overly harsh, but this move down zero line never works. You can always punish it.
Are they out? They look like pretty much outplayed before the game starts, like out-thought, I don't know how to call it. Like on mines, the things that Tropical did were really good and smart, and Invil was lacking a lot of that. Like even that E5 kind of thing that looked like a gimmick actually turned out to be the best possible solution for them. I wonder, would Tropical play it way different if Invil had a different setup though? and what would they actually do if Inwil push the lower side, but that doesn't matter now. What matters is it looks like the coach who's sitting behind Piotr is working against his own clan. We have a name for that here, but you know, money talks, I guess.
Yeah. This, I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, this. I don't want to be overly harsh on Invel, but they're such a.
This is so lacking. Like, I don't understand
team.
why they're doing this.
I mean, Tropical is so happy with this.
Like, why are you sending a light and Bachat there? Like, even in any random game, you would send him along the zero line, like toward the hill, you know, to peek that behind that little cover. Like, not this. And they literally met, those two guys alone met entire team of Tropical. There was zero help there.
But if I could tell you why, I would. However, I'm not clairvoyant just yet.
Work in progress.
Yeah, I'm working on it. It's rough, man. It's rough.
Well, Inwil will have their attack on steps to try to stay in the tournament. And if they do that, then they will have to win both games on Prokhorovka. And if they do that, then they will have to win tiebreaker on Prokhorovka again.
If one of the teams that could do it, it's probably Inwil, I would say.
Well, the ones that are good in comebacks are usually Fame guys, to be honest.
Hey. I mean, true. Actually, I don't come back. I just lose or win. It's one of the two. It's insane that
guy.
It's insane that that's the comeback state. But yeah, weird. That this Invel is so different than the one I played against Fame. So different, making so many mistakes.
It's time to tell your little brothers to get off the computer and start playing yourselves, guys. Pretty much. Well, we're waiting for that Steps second game where Inwil will have a final chance to stay in the tournament and show us how they actually reached the final. Because so far, they've been one-sidedly spanked by Tropical Clown School. And their Clown School, what are the other guys who were beaten so far? And I'm gonna just say, like, on this tournament, Tropical Clown School played only against Fame and Inwil again so far. Fame took them 1 round, Inwil took them 0, and then 1 round now. No rounds now. 0 again. They lost 1 round in the tournament so far. That's a nice score, man.
That is indeed a nice score. I mean, they could end it clean here as well if they win the next one. So it's going to be a hell of a run for them, actually. Unexpected.
Well, that's going to be shorter work hours for Aros, but I would prefer to see more games. So
True.
let's see.
Well, let's see what it brings though.
Inwil playing attack with the T100 again. They have a Bachat this time, not a CS. 3 113s, IS7, and a Crown
Tropical
Wagon.
didn't have a 430U last time. They had double Crown, I think. I'm pretty sure they had double Crown. In the game they won against Invel on their defense, I think it was double Crown, I7, 1 Bat, and then Eskongs. I think. The slight adjustment. I'm sure they didn't have a 430U though.
Tropical played their defense on Murovanka with the 430U, that's for sure.
Yeah, but not on steps. So remember the last round they won against Invel?
They didn't play the steps there.
No, they had a Crown going to
just
C1.
Like one. Yeah, there was just one game. So we can't even say.
Invel in return though. Straight aggression towards 1-2 line.
Seriously, man, their position.
Are they gonna do? Are they gonna do an
reading the
LTP?
Inwil up ahead.
Are they gonna do an LTP?
It looks like that. They're going straight for it. I7 through the center. Bachat is watching the back. T100 light is spotting up. That's the only difference because no one had it. And there is 3 113s, but they're already spotted. And they know they're spotted, of course. So we have 4 guys there ready to push. And how will actually Tropical Clown School respond to that? They're not even moving their tanks. There is only 1 Bachat more on a side. And Itox in his Superconk is in a forward position next to the IS-7. But Inwil stopped now. There is a
Why?
negotiation going in. Should they stay or should they
Negotiation?
go?
I hope they remember that this is a lot of info for the side of Tropical as well, though.
Yeah.
Piotrix is now starting to close the middle. It's the all-in play, Mojo. It's
Yeah,
the
it's
all-in.
only tournament or go.
White Rock in an interesting position, not being spotted out yet. Fury does not connect, and now here we go. Here comes the Invil Assault. Maybe the final one of this tournament, as now the damage is starting to come in already more than Raid did against LTP, to be
Well,
honest.
it's Bachat clipping and checking Rexter now, like and Panzer Fury taking over the push. Verby not connection much. Anu is already damaged engine there. He needs to be careful, but he's not a clipper like a Bachat. He's actually a single shooter.
Yeah, Panu there in a little bit of trouble on that 4-3U. He's lucky that Piotrix and the other friend of him there, Sokar, are not deciding to focus him now. The 115s are looking towards Panu. They might want to pick him up on the move here. Can they manage to make it happen? Rexar should be the one. No! Misses coming out! And now more damage being dealt on towards these Invil tanks. Panu, no, does not get the last shot out, but here comes the repush. White Rock is already coming off of reload to repush the middle here. That's very fast, actually. Piotrix trying to readjust behind the rock. Aitok trying to help his team. Verby, will he get another shot? No! Ooh, actually gets put into the track. One more perhaps from Verby. He does do one more, and then an unfortunate low roll, a bounce as well from Invil. The shooting here is not what you like to see from a team at this caliber. They do pick up that tank in the middle, that IS-7, but Piotrix chilling behind the rock. Now never readjusting with the T100. It's still all possible here for Invil.
I think everyone is still in a play. Yes, Invil is 1000 HP less, but 5 minutes is more than enough time. Also, White Rock is on one shot. That's a very important piece of info because
Why did
he
Smiley
can be
just
picked up
go?
even by a light.
It gives me such Baron vibes. Why did Smiley just go across the open?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, oh, he didn't pay the price for that though. Baron did.
Yet. Oh, lucky. Oh, Nico not so lucky though. They are retreating now, but that opens up the cap for the T100, no?
Yeah, T100 will have a really feast there because there is absolutely no one who can spot him anymore. And as I already said, Bachat there in the back is one shot. He can be easily picked up by anyone at this moment. Even a light tank can take him out.
White Rock, is he spotted? Yeah, White Rock is actually spotted, but leaving now. Some more damage is being taken on Tropical. They are gonna struggle with this. They're gonna struggle against the T100.
You could see like they had an advantage of 1000 HP, and then with these little rotations and retracting, they're actually down on HP now. Like what was their advantage? Now they're 1000 HP down, and they lost a lot of positions. Also, 4 minutes is quite a lot of time for Invil. Invil took a risky bet, but there was not enough damage coming in for Tropical guys on that crossing. There was simply not enough damage. And that 30U, I think they thought it's gonna survive well longer than it did. That was the key point. The 430U actually died quite easily.
Does Itox get any blind shots here on towards the cap? It's such a large area.
Yeah, there is no way to see this guy. He can literally be anywhere in a circle.
Smiley is pushing out the south hand side though in the meantime in his Grand Wagon.
Do you remember the Gold League? Like you had 3 or 4 guys blind shooting this, and even they then would barely sometimes hit the light if he was there. Not one guy, like 3 or 4 guys constantly shooting.
Smiley not stopping though on the K-line, continuing forward. Who do they send to reset though? That is the real question. Who is the sacrificial lamb to the slaughter? Is it gonna be Smiley? Does he make this in 50 seconds down the middle?
Yeah, I don't think
If
so.
the cap gets boosted, I don't think he makes this. Oh, nice shot from Nico though.
Actually,
I mean, I think he makes
is
it.
pedaling to
But
the
if the
medal
bat-
and no one actually saw him.
But
Is he even spotted?
yes, he's unspotted. What if the bat goes on the cap now?
It's gonna bring the timer a lot less, but still, Smiley can do damage there.
Oh, Piotrix is watching the middle. He did not counter the.
You should
Yo,
see
if
him
they-
now. You should see him now.
No, he didn't spot him yet. He didn't spot him yet. He did. No, now he saw him. Now he saw him. But there's only. They left the cap immediately. That's 2 minutes, and now Smiley's going back into the middle. It was a little premature leaving the cap, I would say, a little bit. But now they're pushing Smiley with everybody, and White Rock is actually on reload. If Smiley picks up Piotrix here, though. Oh, Invil, what are you doing yet again? Hey, Smiley gets a full clip in Panzer Fury, is a one shot for this as well.
that was
It's like they
bad.
don't
That's
want
what
to
he
win
did.
anymore.
Oh dear God, man! Like Invil actually kind of blunted it here. Now they have to play against the trenched up Superkongs. This is still a game that Tropical can actually still win.
Now, the Kran is on reload actually from sorry, not from Profus, from Never he's on reload. Now, Itox and Profus, if they put their TPM to work here, if they high roll like, that would be amazing for them actually. Doing like Rams into Profus to let himself go down. Infill falling absolutely to pieces. I mean, now Rexer will pick up Itox, and now the Kran is clipping on Profus, who gets set on fire as well. Profus will survive this though. Now, Nico coming back in. Panzer Fury picks up the kill on towards White Rock, but now Never still on reload. If they can kill this Crown before he gets saved, and I think they will because his driver's down now as well, Nico will be picking it up, and Panzer Fury and Ketsai with the last 2 tanks standing there, and Profus is not even a one-shot. Nico now realizing this opportunity is going towards Panzer Fury. Profus is going to hit at least one more on Ketsai. Amorax, and Ketsai loses his driver. Without a medkit available, he means he can't chase really. Now Nico needs to pick up Panzer Fury here. Oh no, he doesn't, and now Panzer Fury with the opportunity to pick up Nico, he doesn't either. And now Nico will pick up Ketsai to finish it off, and it's going to be Invil extending their tournament life by 1 more game. But these guys don't want to win, dude. They don't want to win. I don't know what they're doing.
Okay, that's what I call a late evening entertainment, man. That was an interesting game by every me. Why is Invil ramming heavier tanks with 130?
First and a bad shot.
Like, twice, man.
Why is Invil... What is Spiotrix doing?
I know. They like dramatic endings.
Apparently so.
That's the correct answer. What was this, man? Tropical actually had a winning chance after being checkmated here. Why did they even send all of those guys to kill one guy in the middle, man? That was so not needed. Well, that was an entertaining game to see. Proof was doing a lot of damage there, man, with his conk.
Yeah, and
I guess
Panu...
if some of the guys took a little less damage coming back to those hold-down positions, Tropical actually had a really good chance to win. Also, like, not spotting Smiley going back with that Kranwagen all that time, that was a big misplay for Invil. Oh well. Prokhorovka it is, man. 3-1 here for Tropical. It's still not done. It's still a match point, but they need to win one of the Prokhorovkas to claim the title.
That is true. Who's defending and attacking first, Mojo? Remind me.
Invil is defending first. Tropical will be attacking. And I'm gonna remind everyone, if Invil actually takes 2 rounds on Prokhorovka, here Tiebreaker is Prokhorovka again. Because, as we said already, Tiebreaker Map is a separate set of pick and bans. Like a banning cycle of the team captains. Amazing.
I'm so confused by this last game, Mojo.
You just gotta smile, man. You just gotta smile. I mean, when you don't play, you can smile. Always.
I mean, this is the push here.
It's fun.
I don't like that Verby gets baited here either, by the way. Like, I mean, gets baited into shooting Never, then the 1-15s go over. It's not really uncommon.
You gotta shoot, man. It's fine. Like, there is still not that much damage on them when they go down.
Yeah, no, and Panu has only 4 shots and he only connects 2 of them. In that scenario, you need to hit basically all of them, really.
Yeah, we can say that Old Kings is a better sniper.
True. And then this here is this some Pepega, dude. Not gonna lie.
This here.
What is this?
Dying and Panzer Fury even ramming himself.
Panzer Fury ramming Smiley.
Look,
it makes himself a one-shot. I can't say the
he literally made himself one-shot, man. Why did he ram himself?
And then this play here, like.
Come on, bro.
Dude.
That's the music I can hear. That's literally the music I
hear. If they don't set Profus on fire here, they lose the game, by the way.
Oh yeah, he's actually burning. I didn't even notice that.
He burned for like an extra shot, basically. So if
he would not be like that low HP for the light. He would actually be able to fight the light.
Yeah, he'd be a 3-shot for the light. They would never recover. Never recover from that point. Because now Ketsai can two-shot him, so he only takes one. While if...
I can
while
also
if-
debate,
yeah.
is it correct call to disperse Nico and Proof here? It would have been for me a better option if for both of them to go below the hill actually.
Yeah, probably, actually.
Like
Because you know the light is
those
flanking.
two nasty guns and that's it. But they never saw the light. So I guess that was okay.
Also, I think Nico should, when he's pushing that, he should just go wide, really wide. You have enough gun depression over the side to kill the 113, and then you don't really get shot by the light. Because now Ketsai had a shot because Panzerfuhrer
light
blocked
was
him
still
properly.
not one shot, and he was, so it still happens like that. I mean, technically, Invil should have won this game earlier, anyways.
True.
But
True.
it came to this entertaining ending, so it was fun. Anyways, Prokhorovka, Invil will be defending, as we said, 3-2-1 for Tropical Clown School, and they do have the match points still, even after this game. So if they win the tournament, they win the prize, they win the 7-on-7 for the first time, and if not, they will still have 2 more chances. Let us see defense
Lineups
of Invil with 2 Super Kongs, 2 VZs, 3 CSs. That's quite an aggressive setup actually. An attack with 4 I7s, 2 CSs and 1 light tank on Prokhorovka. Okay, that's very old school I7 lineup that can go on the middle. If you remember, when people were brawling in the Gold League with VZs, the way that other people responded to that was actually picking I7s.
You can see that Invil is going fully middle here, getting spotted out by Panu and the double CS, who are now forced to G1. So there's an immediate reaction there. They take some shots in the CS though. Okay, they have 1 CS in K2, but all these I7s can actually shoot these CSs where they currently are. I mean, Rexer and Like here could be in a lot of trouble. Like takes 1. Is he gonna take a second one here?
Jesus
Takes
H,
2.
He actually lost 2 crew members there. There is a really big follow-up here by Invil coming in to the ditch immediately to try to do something about it, to save their CSs. Big brawl coming in, Ducky.
Big brawl coming in indeed, and Ketsai there for the overpeak, getting punished really hard, and now Rexar trying to drop in behind together with his buddy Like. Rexar gets focused out. Lexar lucky to survive there, takes 3 big shots immediately. Now Piotrix and Ketsai, they're pushing up and over. Invil wants to take the fight here, but if this is the correct fight, I'm not sure. Literally, Tropical has the T100 sniping away as Furby is now picking up Rexar. He's gonna get traded out in return, and Invil is able to focus the fire well, but Panu in that light tank is actually gonna be really, really annoying. Now Prufus is the next one on the chopping board. He goes down towards the 2-shot, and Itox is the next one to come down into that scenario. And actually, Invil here, Mojo, it looked bad for a second, but stabilizing the game here. If they could pick up Prufus or Itox, they could make this work, and now, never stop Proof. This game is indeed not fully over. You are right, Mojo. Panu is such a nuisance. I completely almost forgot about that T100 with his amazing camo. And now he did give Ketsai 1 shot. Made him towards a 1-shot, but Panu needs to be careful. He could always get chased down by the CS, which is what is happening right now. You can see the J2 CS is making his way down the 1-2 line.
CSs are trying to pretty much come back together because they know there is no one really able to chase them that much. Like, only Never in his CS can really confront them. And he missed the gap. He tried to close the gap together with that VZ to catch the T100 light, but Panu pretty much took the last trade to Trans Central and he ran away in a blink of a time. So now CS is going down the 1-2 line because he knows there is no big cover that can be for that T100. He's trying to see where is he because they know he fired 1 shell toward the Super Conk, toward Ketsai in his VZ, but he finds nothing. Panu is now triggering the cap. He does have 2 CSs surrounding him, so he can actually pretty much bait them for some more free damage, and they're hoping that they will pick up some free kills with this while using Panu to maybe run away. Interesting thing, you can see here he's breaking the houses so no one can lurk inside unspotted, and so like CS from the hill has better shots toward the middle.
Now Never is crossing over. The T100 can get spotted on the cap and Never should be able to get the on the cap, right? I think he can reset if one of his 5-8 goes to proxy.
I'm not sure he can actually see it because, as I remember from before, you need to peek like a monster and get shot by everyone to do it. It's not just like regular peek enough. And I think it's out of the range of proxy, as far as I remember.
But if he peeks over the rails. Ooh, there comes the spot though. The shot from the CS from the hill coming in.
Yeah, there it is.
Panu now leaving the camp. I think he got afraid there from a second. Sokar peeking over the rails.
Panu is playing it really careful, man.
Yeah, but you know, they still need to start making some kills, Mojo.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like they're not throwing HP like it's nothing, so that's a good thing for them. Like the difference is HP at the moment is 800, roughly. And the two guys on one shot are both from Invil. That's CS. So if something bad happens to him, they're pretty much stuck.
Yeah, but the tanks from Tropical here managing to actually
2.5
back
minutes.
away. I mean, Piotrix, I guess, is a slight vulnerability. He's supported by only one 5A, which is also a one-shot, actually. There is that. But never also realizing they just completely left. Is now going back towards the middle.
Well, it's 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes and 10 seconds now. So this game will pretty much be ending with a massive fight. There is no cap possible anymore. These guys know it, so they are trying to pick up at least one gun for free and maybe pressure one more gun before they actually dig into the rest of the team of Invil. Let's see, Panu and White Rock. Will they be able to connect anyone? Sokar is spotted, Piotrix is spotted, so they